great outcome for the whole community.
Amen.
Okay, get the approval of the minutes agenda, additional declaration of substitution of the agenda items.
Yeah, I wanted to do one addition to the agenda, is to, get Attorney General opinion on the mailboxes. I don't know if we could talk about that on B, or if we have to put it, on, or make J. Oh, yeah, sorry. And,
If we could do put it in,
yeah, well, that's what I was saying, since we're already on the topic, if we could go
yeah,
ahead and
you
do
can
it.
do it
Okay, yeah, we just had it on B.
We're gonna be,
Appreciate it, sir.
let's go ahead and do the adoption of the agenda.
I've got one thing about the agenda for December, has the wrong date, it has that, December 20th, was supposed to be 13th.
The new one?
The one I printed out has 2020.
Oh, the minutes.
Yeah, for the minute meetings.
Oh, you're right. Looking for like that.
And then just a typo in March. But I'll get with you on the typo.
In the minutes?
Yeah. The full sack. So the full sack?
Yeah. But when you put it, it automatically does the auto-correct.
Okay.
So every time you try to do it this way, it will, no, it auto-corrects it. It shows a misspelling,
Okay,
for whatever reason.
all right. Because I didn't know if it could be corrected.
I tried and I keep going, and then when I go back, it changes it. So I don't know if it was my settings, but my settings, I don't touch them. So,
Okay,
or maybe the update on the Microsoft Word itself, to be honest. But I did try to get that corrected, but yes, I appreciate that.
Any more in regard to that? We good on that? Good. And, let's, item C is the approval of regular and budget, board meeting minutes of December 13, January 24th, and February 28th.
we can vote to adopt the agenda. We can vote to adopt the agenda.
Correct, the vote for the agenda, to approve it. Do we have
I'm
a,
gonna make a motion.
do you make a motion to have this, 4 days approved, 3 days approved, December, January, and February?
The only ones you're not, I'm sorry, there's a deletion, February 28th, 24th. The meeting minutes are not in our agenda.
Yeah.
It's only for December, and the correction of the, change the 20 to the 13 on the top was, and then, just January 24th.
January 10th, February 10th here.
February's not in your, agenda.
Do we have a motion to approve this, 2 days, please?
Make a motion.
Anybody in favor?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Now, for the public comments, we have slips in the podium, if any person in the audience want to make any comments or suggestions to the board, this is the time to do that. Has anybody turned in slip? No? Okay. Let's continue with the all new business. A is discussion and vote on repay East Rec Henry County and to Henry County Board. That's the rec center.
We have, there's a Central County Recreation District, which is part of the East Recreation District. And it's a Central County, it's from us. Beginning the last fiscal year, the county collector office changed their software and the mapping problem. So the money that number that's on the spreadsheet. I'm not saying what to do with it, I'm saying this is the number, $87,731.75. Covers all the money for last fiscal year, plus this fiscal year up till, so, that's, the number is not in dispute. So I understand the question now is, are we paying that back? If y'all voted not to at the last meeting.
The thing is, Mr. Board, that money was supposed to be, because they have to, use, Samsung in exchange. They were not providing the services that they were supposed to provide to us as recreation from the county to our shop, to Central County, okay? So they did that in order to over for the service that they didn't provide to us, okay? So that's why they pay us that money. So the way I see it is that we don't owe them no money. And that was brought up in the meeting of October 2020, when I ran for office, that I was elected. At that time, Benny Alvarez, he stated very clearly that he had discussion with the county, okay, the county was giving us the money in order to
I'm not, it's a legal question, not a county question. What I'm just going to lay out there is that we know that's the number. That the auditors and us, they levied the tax. We didn't levy the tax.
so they will tax us.
No, I'm saying that they levy their own taxes, municipal, municipal service.
MFD.
So anyway, whether somebody decide we, whether that money legally belongs to them, or whether we have the right to keep it.
No, they give it to us because they failed to provide the service they were supposed to provide, for recreation on the county. Okay, I'm not,
John,
I'm not a legal person, so I'm not.
have they ever given us money for East Red?
Yes, I think too.
go back in this year, we settled up the same kind of thing in September of 2019.
Yeah, I'm asking, like what Santana's saying, that they're supposed to give us money back. We ever received money back from them for certain, things that we're supposed to get from them that we never did receive?
What's going to, what Nick was just clarify a little bit more, he's saying the East County rec money, has the county ever spent money here, giving us money back? The money definitely goes to East County rec, I think that's what we should.
Yeah.
I have no idea what services we may or may not have provided. The only money we get is what we assess. So whether or not they've been good to us, that's not, it's not in terms of money being given.
So Mr. Boyd, let me ask you this question, like in 2020, this happened, I believe 2020, 2019, something like that, like, that amount was 150-something thousand, this one, I guess you're saying it's 80-something thousand. So then my question to you is, how does that work? Do they send it to our bank, they send it to the accountant? How does that, they send it directly to our account, how does that work?
I've got a copy of one, they just write one check to Central County, and it's supposed to be just for our money. So in those two time periods, they had this Central County recreation district mapped in to go into our check on the state.
Is it itemized when they send us this check of what's coming to us?
it says,
Because
A year,
January 3rd, 23.
23, okay.
It started in that year, they changed computers.
Great.
What year was it?
2023.
The year that ended September 30th, 23, that's last year. Okay.
That's the check they brought to us, correct?
That's one check.
Okay, now, do we have anything in writing from the county stating what kind of service they're gonna supply to us?
This just comes from the tax collector.
So this case is out of the blue, you know, there's this much money, whatever. When you met with them, with the tax collector and the attorney and everybody else, what was the discussion about? I mean, what transpired there?
Well, the tax collector admitted that they had a mapping problem, with that money was given to us, as they should.
Do we have that mapping, in here in the office, Becky?
We don't.
Or do we have any kind of mapping saying, you know,
Now, I'm not talking about a map, like.
no, I understand, do we have any kind of track record? I mean, do we have any kind of paper trail in regard to that? To account for this, 87,000?
So what,
Yeah, we've gone back and looked at every single check. As part of the audit and scheduled every single check out. Right.
Because it's very easy for the county, you know, to go back, 4 or 5 years, and they start making all kind of excuses where we don't know. I mean, being a new member, I know you guys, the oldest being here on the board, we got any kind of feedback from the county, any kind of,
so what's this, what this reg is, we, as certain parts of Montero, how it's split, the map is stated, some of us pay into this East County rec in our tax bill, we pay East County rec. So our biggest thing, since I've been on the board, is that's the county, where do we get the benefits out of it going to East County rec, when we have this area here? So like, for instance, the east side of the county, so the money goes east.
it doesn't come here.
And that's, I think, what the reference of Mr. Selfer said, we see any of that funding, so we as a community have to go before the commissioners and say, hey, you know, we have facilities, we have needs as well as in our area, not just the east side of.
Should we involve the attorneys on this, or just us being there?
Yeah, do whatever.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we're paying for something that our community doesn't use, we're paying for somebody else's rec.
Correct.
We have our own that we pay non ad valorem.
Correct, so,
We're paying for 2 recs,
so they're really, taking money away from us, basically.
basically, yeah.
Yeah. without
For
giving
a
us
facility that's not ours, we have no control of.
So like, for instance, they'll tell you, you can use the county pool, that's in Harlem, and then they have a basketball, which is in Harlem as well. So a lot of this stuff goes, not everybody in Montero pays that East County grant, but some of us do. That funding which they take out of us a year goes to the, what I've been told, goes to the east side. That's why they call it east rec.
So, it sounds as though there are 2 different issues. One of them is something that I hear a lot, which is whether the district is receiving the right level of support from the county, in this case, county district. But there's a slight, this other thing sounds like that thing, where there's another district that does different things entirely than we do. And the assessor made a mistake, and cut one check to the 2 of us. If the auditor figures out that that is correct and lawful, then God help us if we don't have the money. Then, oh, you gotta cut the check right now, but then we, employed it for whatever lawful purposes of the district after you get it. So that might be why it was created last time.
Well, that's what happened in 2019. They came and said, hey, by the way, it was 150-some thousand. For a small team, for a small area like us, that's a big deal. That's a big oversight.
That was about 3 years or something went on, and it's probably corrected it, and it did, it wasn't a problem in 2021, 22, and they switched software, and then it screwed up again.
You know, so this 87,000, what line item would it come out of? I guess out of our assessed taxes and stuff? Or we put out a reserve, or? gonna change.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna change the bottom line.
Yeah.
Whether or not we'll show it as a separate line item, or if we can see it, or whatever, because auditor will say on that. but-
Yeah.
Not no negative.
It's gonna be a wash.
Yeah, I mean, it won't really matter if we show it as a separate line item or offset it against.
Can we make a payment in Haiti?
They're gonna want to get there, if it's for any other entity, if they take the money, put it in pork bellies, and then when they ask for it, cash it out and pay it.
Did they give it to us in separate payments, separate check? This is what this is every time we receive the payment?
These are checks we got throughout the year.
Yeah, so if we pay it back, we do it the same way? Well, I mean, we might as well just get the whole bulk and get it done and over with.
I think it's a question of if you're gonna pay it back, let's get that paid back.
Yeah.
If you're gonna contest it, then it's a legal
Wish they
question.
would do more with funds other than creating roadways and federations. You know what? Figure out how to buy trucks. But if it's postponed, it's better to do it now and not get called out. We have some options there. Oh, whatever.
Yeah, because I know we'd like to keep the money, but if lawfully we can't, it's gonna cause us a problem. There's no point of us fighting back and forth about keeping it. If it's not ours, it's not ours, and, I mean, it's just gonna be what it is.
And I think in governmental accounting, the person that has the right to assess the tax is them, not us. We just given to us.
Sure.
And whether or not we got the right services for it, and that's something we've already, for
Separate
years,
issue.
we're not.
Yeah. But it's a good thing that we're speaking about it now, because now it helps us then bring up the issue with the county on, should we be paying this rate?
Right, yeah.
So,
So they can ask for money from us, but we pay taxes to them, and they give us nothing back,
Yeah.
basically.
it all started because of a few kids from the community that were swimming in the pool and playing. And then there's a lot of kids from Altura coming over here. So that's kind of, from what I remember from back then, it's kind of like what was the onset of it. And we got dragged into paying East Rec, and then we have a lot of kids from outside that comes over here, and I don't think the board or the community ever had an issue with, people from the outside coming in.
How can we put a stop to this kind of fun, travel back and forth?
Well, they've already fixed it, but we can just come to support each bill or something. And it's been fixed. I mean, we used to get, one check for $174,000, and some of it theirs, just made out of Central County.
And it's pretty clear cut. It's not our money.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got, like you said, two issues. One is whether or not we have the right to keep that money, and two is whether or not we obviously don't feel like we're getting the service out of what we're paying.
That money that they send us, is that coming, when they send that to us, were they thinking that that's what we pay from Montserrat to Central County, whatever, is that coming from a different part of town? Is it coming from our area, is that what that bill comes out to, they say? Do you understand my question?
Well, I mean, basically, we're just talking about a computer program that's allocating the money to Central County, but it says Central County.
Gotcha.
Distribution.
Understood, okay.
Software, accounting.
Should we put them in the bank saving, and then when they ask again, they pay, get some interest?
Bad thing is if we spend the money,
No, put it on a saving account, don't touch that money, and then when they ask again.
They already asked.
yeah, they're already here.
They give me asking.
I got a call from Mr. Zimmerman, like 2 or 4 days ago,
What he does?
information on this going forward, not based on Central County, but what, most, not all of us see much of it, there's how it's divided, there's quite a few of us that send money to East County Rec, so we know what is, what do they do with it, what's the purpose of it, what do they do with it? I mean, I'm hearing it goes to, sometimes they send that money to the city to pay for services. I'd like to see what those services are used for, what that funding is used for. Can somebody find that out for us?
I think the 87,000, as soon as we send it back, if that's what we do, where are they gonna send it off and spend it? And
Yeah, like for instance, there's quite a few in my tax bill, I see some areas that I pay Henry County, Henry East County rec. But I'd like to know what that money is for.
where's that good?
Exactly, what do they do with that money? Where does it go? Does it go to the city? Does it go to, programs in East County?
Should we wait for that, recommendation by the, or?
I think he has it on there to vote, so I'm assuming he wants to vote.
So it should be, so motion was in favor to pay the 87,731.75 to Henry County without getting any benefit.
I make a motion. We got to pay it back. In my opinion, we got to pay it back. So I make the motion.
Who's second the motion?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
2 and 2.
That's the money that you pay for, that's the money they use, because they failed to provide us with services, and they were supposed to give us something else. That's why they give us the money, okay? Because they failed to provide the services that they were supposed to give us.
I think that's more of a miss the big picture. That's not the big picture, but I'll let you go with that, that's fine.
This is strictly computer glitch,
Sure.
nobody decided.
To the person that in,
Sure. Money out.
yeah.
Computer glitch, I like that. Okay, move to second, all new business B, discussion and vote on post office and mail delivery to home.
Yeah, I wanna talk about it. I brought this up the other day, that we need a new mailbox, building, okay? Because, the one that we have, they don't meet the needs of the residents of, Montreal. I went by there, before yesterday, and I spoke to Jennifer. Jennifer is the person, the supervisor of the, people, that deliver the mail also. They are contract employees of the U.S. Mail. And she told me that the supervisor there in the U.S. Mail in Houston told her that if we don't do something about it and build a new mailbox here in Santa County, in Madura, they're going to shut down the mailboxes and all the residents of Madura will have to go and pick up the mail and the packages in Houston. Okay? And I asked her, does that belong to us? She said, yeah. This building here belongs to Central County. It's responsibility of Central County. I have my mail, but she told me she wasn't going to come here this week. I don't see her here. But she told me she wasn't going to come here to me. Her employee to tell us that she wasn't supposed to bring it. So,
We got tons of emails.
no, what I'm saying is, if we don't build a new mailbox building, set it up. Set it up. If we don't build a new mailbox building, like we bring it up here, we're gonna shut down that mailbox building. All the residents of Madura, we have to go down and pick up all the mail, and the packages and all that.
key.
We have a key to the
Correct,
mailbox.
okay, we have 1,100 boxes over there, okay? The question is, who had that track of those keys? Is that the post office? They don't have it.
We do, I seen a resident the other day go buy a key for a mailbox out here that they lost.
Well, their box, yeah, fine, but them over there told me that Montour Ranch or Central County has a list of those people who own those mailboxes. Okay, we have new, landowners coming on board, and they sell the lot. No key we found.
There's no key,
I said, no key, no box, no nothing.
yeah, because it's pretty much at the back.
So we have 1,100 residents here with 1,100, how many?
1,400 boxes, 1,470 or something like that. And they need another 2,000. That's easy.
The last census said we had like 5,000 to 7,000, 5,000 or 7,000 people out here, and that's probably.
So we got more than that.
That's what I'm saying, so again, that's easy, just take those boxes, but it's pretty easy.
Let me say something for the record. What Jennifer told me, bottom line is, the condition that mailbox building is unacceptable to the US now increase. So we have to rebuild. This one that we have right now. We have to
Rebuild that one?
repair this one. If we repair this one, then it'll cost us down. That's exactly what you're talking.
So there's a couple of things I want to ask about this. So the mailboxes came in 2006. Yeah, I'm gonna give them in 2006, something like that. So before they went in, somebody had to pull a permit. There had been some type of maybe as-built to it.
Mail before
Huh?
that, how was it in mail before that?
Everything was to PO boxes. Yeah, so somebody had to initiate this conversation with the postal service. So what we need to do, and this is one of the biggest things that we need to find out, is who's the owner. That's why I was suggesting let's go to Attorney General, or let's go back and ask for, permits, who pulled the permit to build that, and who designed it. We know that we pay the taxes on it, we know that we maintain it, we clean the garbage there, and so forth, but it doesn't mean that we own it. And it might be ours, it might not be ours, and we never got to the nitty gritty of who really owns it.
They said that the land is ours, and the other part was there was an agreement between Central County back in the day.
And
I got to Jennifer, she said she spoke to the supervisor of US now in Houston.
But again,
And that she stated, or he stated, that we are the owner, and she got an email.
so
Stating that.
we have emails from, we have email
And she
chains.
told me, she talked to you, at least.
who, Jennifer?
Yeah.
No, Anna. Anna.
Well, we have email chains.
I talked to Jennifer.
We have
And
email chains.
what she told me that you were in favor of the building.
Yes. So it's if it's
The building.
ours, because this is the thing, Central County is a 298 water district, there's only, we're responsible for roads, drainage, and recreation. And I'm gonna make the same statement now that I made in the last meeting.
Sure.
If we're responsible for the mailboxes, we need to get them fixed. If we're not, we need to find out who owns it, and we need to hold their feet to the fire and hold them responsible, so then we're not being forced.
To who do we have to talk to find out?
So it would be the same thing if, it would be the same thing as Pioneer, they have pretty much the same stuff, right? They have pretty
Yeah.
much the same. We're not the only one in this.
Yes, deal.
So, Mr. Lawyer,
But what you're saying,
who do we talk to?
but what you're saying, Mr. Santana, is there's no, that's a lot of talk, one. So every time I've asked the commissioner and the post office.
Oh, me told me that we don't touch.
No, sir.
That's what I told him.
That's not,
No, sir, that's not what he told you.
no.
So again, I try to base my stuff off
I'm
facts.
gonna talk to him again. That's what he told me.
He told me the same thing, he told me the same thing, he told you, and you did that. So again,
What he told you?
I want to reach on facts. I want to see documents, because every document, there are permits that are pulled, but it doesn't show, it shows us that we own the land. But it doesn't say that we own the
What
field.
the record we can come up? I'm only listening to you, that he didn't tell me that we don't touch.
When you get a chance, you can just speak to him on that, so.
When you said that, he didn't tell me that.
But you
When I
said-
talked to him to repair the roof over there, he told me that belonged to us, and then he told me the county, and they said they wanna rebuild it, they wanna put a new roof, but he told me they were going to do the favor to us, that building belonged to us.
When you get a chance.
I'm gonna call him.
Yeah, do that.
we're gonna make a motion for us to repair the building.
I wouldn't want to get in a legal debate or something.
Somebody else do it, the county is one thing, and that after they build it, the post office takes it, right?
So you stop owning it whenever somebody builds it and the post office starts servicing it, then they claim ownership of it. And I think the reason for that is so you just go back in and manage it yourself. And then when it goes into disrepair, the post office said, that's not ours anymore, you take care of it. But in between, who is it that builds and maintains it? So unfortunately, I don't think the district is empowered to build postal mailboxes because I don't see the connection.
I don't think to build it, I'm saying to repair it.
Yeah, okay, and you know, we can look at that. I think the problem is we're very much in the public eye, and so the public might have a problem. If you could build, let's say, basketball courts, dog park, and you do the mailboxes instead, but the county was supposed to do the mailboxes, then there may be some heartburn because of that. That's, I think, where it comes up. So the move is, it's gonna end up being some type of showdown with the county. And they're gonna say, they are the next higher governmental unit. They're the ones who can spend their money on anything. Therefore, they should spend the money to build the post office. On top of the fact that every time I attend a meeting, I hear that they don't generally do a great job. Seems like a small ask. So that's why we have some of your findings, you have like a sample letter that our constituents
Should
should
we put
send.
this, should we put this at the office and let the landlord keep on doing that?
Well, I wasn't there, because Steve sent them to me. We have our Easter event this Saturday, and I was gonna have, as they come in, all the residents from within our community to, if they agree to sign it. And then we can get it to our, the Henry County, and at least target, there's a lot of people that come this weekend.
Is there a way we could do this like the petitions, they do it on, like emails, you sign it, you send it, instead of having to physically put it in a,
Yeah.
because that, people are more geared towards that.
So, no
Well, I
problem.
was just gonna have them sign it and take it, keep it. And I'll send it.
You guys said that?
Yeah. That's right, you know what I mean?
There is, each of these representatives has links that allows us to do that. And I thought that in the email transmitting the documents, I might have completed it, but I might not. So I'll find the link that anybody can click and then they just,
Yeah, I think,
it kind of follows.
because they can put it on the website, and if they, like on our Central County website, they get it,
I
they
just
sign it.
figured because they're physically there, have them sign it, collect them all
Yeah.
together, and throw them in the
Well, if
envelope.
they get doubles up there, it don't matter.
Yeah.
It just gives different options.
There can be more than one per household.
Can you also verify, because, this is what strange to me is, if we were in the mail business, we would have a line items for R&R, repair replacement. I've never seen you put anything, since I've been on the board, I've never seen any kind of line item for repair, maintenance, or anything on the shelf life. That possible, so can we try to
Just to see the county has one.
put a closure to this, because, again, and this problem is not going away, as we continue to grow, this problem is going to grow tenfold on us.
It's not going to go.
Yes,
The fact that you're about to get death by the post office, I think that alone will be a bunch of red flags.
and I received a few calls today from, our two angry residents, you have to reach out to your representatives as well. But they said the same thing, like Mr. Santana, the post office has their staff, they're saying this, but they don't produce what they're saying.
So what I'm hearing is, permit the street,
But they're sure
if that reveals anything, but.
That's a start.
County budgeting for R&R, for postal boxes, I imagine it encompasses the whole county. You guys want to look at it, friendly reminder that they have money for.
And just see what the neighbors, see what the neighboring local districts do. You've got Pioneer that sits in the same situation as us. I'm pretty sure they're probably gonna experience, if they haven't experienced the same situation. See how they fall in line.
I get it, I got it.
You think the Attorney General opinion might help, even though it's just an opinion, but at least to get some type of guidance?
The AG opinions we have only cover the cities, which cities can do more. So there's an AG opinion that says, yeah, the city, if you wanna spend money on the mailboxes, go for it. You're not hurting anybody. The post office is self-funded, you're doing them a favor, they're in control of it, work it out with them. But unfortunately, we're not that. You know,
been fighting this issue since I started here, as a supervisor in Second County in October 2010, remember?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I have with,
For an AG opinion, I would try to link it to, I'm thinking roadways. In other words, how is it that you present it as something that is ancillary to roadway maintenance? Everything, have somebody run it over if you want. So we'll figure out a way to say it is essential to one of the three individual functions. And this is why we need to do it. Can we please do it? I think under those circumstances, I would say, go for it.
Yeah.
But
Because I've been wondering that for a while, like, who's gonna give us that concrete answer that says, hey, somebody has to be able to give, because I mean, within the 298, anything that we wanna add or take out, we have to go to the legislators. And I've never seen anything about mailboxes, but then again, I don't know.
And in the past, I've tried to find ways to expand revenue sources. I think we
Yeah.
talked about some different things to do, and it was always problematic, because I could find an AG opinion that said, no, don't do that. This is a mystery, but I'll craft the language of an AG opinion and send it out and see for that.
you told me about, what for us to repair the,
It would be an opinion from the governor saying if we can spend the money. Now, mind you, that just means we get to spend the money, maybe you're not going to be happy with that anyway, because the thing is somebody else should be spending the money. But if we wanted to spend the money just not to get condemned, right, then that would be a good benefit for repairs.
Yeah, they're gonna try to reach out to some other water districts and ask them how they deal with their mail, but I don't think that,
Well, you're gonna find anyone who has any type of residential little development, that development will do it. In other words, if it's set up so that it looks like single family, but it has its own association. Even private HOAs are ones who do that. And they're collecting money to do it, they're collecting maintenance.
we don't want that.
don't have to go through the process.
Are you gonna let me speak, or you gonna always cut me off?
Let's continue the next process.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
So it's a process, we don't have, so, Mr. Boyd, do we have a budget for a building? To build a building?
I don't see anything, but I'm looking at it, it's not.
So again, it's bigger than just.
Yes, it's
No, I just asked you because I thought you were in favor.
I'm totally in favor of it. My
Nothing.
most important thing is, as other board members stated, does it belong to us? If it belongs to us, we own
No,
it.
sure.
But that's what I want them to prove to us, that it belongs to us. I don't wanna hear gossip or hearsay.
So if you be on those in favor of building more,
But then we got to figure out ways to make it happen with the community.
Mr. Santana, I don't think nobody's going against wanting to fix it. Like you say, whatever's our responsibility, we have to fix it.
so what I wanna bring this board is, either, if we cannot build a new building, there's too much money, at least let's repair it, let's fix it.
If it, that's what we're saying.
If we want that we don't, they don't shut it down, and then the residents of, Montura have to go and get the mail on the box. It's too inconvenient, inconvenient, to all of us.
Yeah, I think we all agree with that. It's just we have to figure out if it is ours. If it's not ours,
Yeah.
then somebody has to pay for it. Because why would we pay for something that's not ours?
Right.
You know,
Let's go ahead and move to the next item, C, with the, discussing vote on the district manager advertising. Are we gonna,
That's Mr. Self, Supervisor Self.
yeah, yeah, we can just open it back up, permanently until we find somebody, or we say nobody's qualified to be the manager, and then we can always go to hiring the interim manager.
I have a comment on that also.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
I've got a comment as well. If we as a board, are, so this has been going on since August, September, so we're about to have
6 months.
6 months. So if we're not gonna do nothing as far as advertising and figure out something, my hands are tied on what to do. So I'm just giving you my 2 cents. So if we're gonna throw our feet in the sand and not advertise, then I'm gonna have to shift the way of thinking if we have to go forward. So I'm for the haven't seen too many applications given to me.
There was none.
We haven't done a short list, so this process that we so-called have is in need of, help in my opinion. I've never seen it take so long, so if we're not going to approve of this, I have to start thinking differently about how to proceed going forward. That's just my piece.
Well, I would like to express my opinion on this issue. I've been bringing this issue for 6 months now, and, my opinion is that we should name, Ms. Becky Hernandez, permanent manager of Central County Water Control District. She has been doing a good job, she has been doing a great job, she gets along with employees, she knows everything you have to do, she has the experience, she has the requirements. So my position is the same that I have been bringing up for these last 6 months. We should approve her as the permanent manager of Central County Water Control District.
How many applications do we have? When we just, and how many, that's good ones?
Yeah, close to zero. That's why, let's try to do it again. And so that is always a possibility. And then when we do it again, really, let's just leave it open. Because what happened last time?
You know,
We did it in 3 months, 4 months, whatever, we caught a bunch of people, they stink. And so if we leave it open, we might get a gem and then make a determination, circulate that one application and have everybody take a look at it. Whereas with the 77, John found even let's say the finalists were from nowhere around here, they were in down here, and they lacked the qualification. So that's what happens when you go on Indeed, you get a lot of them,
right.
all of it's hard work. So that's the only thing.
So,
It's stalled because we just couldn't get good applicants.
So I make a motion to,
We're on C, correct? So we're on C? Yeah, you're up next. So I'm,
We're on C.
we're on C. Yeah.
so can I make a motion to put, manager, interim manager, Becky Hernandez as a permanent manager of
My
Central
motion has
County
to
Water?
go first.
Yeah, so that's why I was asking. So we're discussing vote on district manager advertisement. So what's your motion, Chris?
You're the chairman now, or?
So
Him.
he was our.
Okay, I'll just make sure. Okay, I said open it back up until we find somebody.
Okay. So no limit, it's just open until we appoint a district manager.
Until we get a bulk amount, and then we figure out, hey, there's nobody here qualified, and then we say, well, vote for the interim manager.
Can I say something, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, go ahead.
We have been in this agreement for 6 months. Okay? 6 months. We already extended the opening of the application 2 or 3 times. Okay? Yes, we have. Okay? We have extended 2 or 3 times. And we have no candidates from meeting requirements to qualify for this position. She has proved that she is doing a good job, she knows how to do it, and she has proved for 6 months. She has the requirements, she has the knowledge, she has the know-how. So I believe we should leave her permanently in that position, and we should offer the position in there.
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor. Chris's motion is to open up the advertisement for our district manager here at Central County Water Control District until a district manager is appointed. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Robert. Do I have any that oppose? No that oppose, so that passes.
Last,
Yep,
who's in favor?
you have 2. I asked if anyone opposes.
I oppose.
1 opposed. Do you
Let me know
oppose?
when you talk about
How do you vote?
We're gonna advertise it for,
Okay. That's 3-1.
Wanna make a motion?
Now it is your time for the intern manager as our district manager.
Thank you, sir. So my motion would be to, put, Ms. Becky, Hernandez as a permanent manager of, Central County Water Control District. She shall show that she has been doing a good job for 6 months. That's my motion.
We have a motion on the floor to appoint our intern manager, Becky Hernandez, as our district manager. Do we have a second? There's no second at this time, it dies in committee. Okay, we're going to move to set, go ahead.
Just to inform the chair that there was a vote on another agenda item.
Okay, which one was that?
There's an opportunity to, this was the, A, discuss and vote on repaying East West Henry County. And I mention it for the benefit of the board because there's an opportunity to consider, so if you do know.
What was their motion? What was their decision?
What about paying the money?
We already voted.
The motion to pay the $87,000.
Yeah, but we already voted.
We have you here now, we have some discussion to call it back up and we can vote on it.
What we have, Chair, is we have a pursuit to pay back funds that were sent to us from Henry County.
So maybe it's
No, can we, like, $87,000.
John, wait, this was last year's? This was last year's that they're wanting?
Majority of it is a year, ending in September 2023. There's a smaller portion to this year.
Okay.
Year and a quarter.
So we had 2 nays and 2 yeas?
Well, they don't know that against.
Okay. I'm actually going to bring it back up.
You just need a second on the motion for consideration. You can raise that motion and somebody seconds it, you vote again and debate it again.
Okay, do you have a second? Second by Chris.
To do what, sorry?
We are bringing up section A, discuss, repaying East Rec Henry County. Have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yes.
Okay. I oppose to paying back Hendry County Rec that money. That money needs to stay here in Hendry County, here in Montura, not to be distributed in LaBelle or Clewiston, or even Harlem. We have no county commissioner that represents us, and there's nothing being done here in Montura. And from 2020, I was told that that money was to be distributed here. They want that money back, our legal team can take that up. So we're not paying that back.
So, just to bring you up to date on what we discussed, but I still want this, so since you're here, Chair, what we asked, and I'm cool with how it goes in this, but I'd like to know, my question was, I'd like to know where are the funds allocated for that we get to East Rec, where are those, I'd like to get information from the county, where that
So,
money is being used.
yeah, so for the record could show,
Yeah.
yeah, so for the record could show, that was a question that was brought up to one of our county commissioners, Ramon Iglesias, is here in this meeting, and he made a statement stating that that money that is taken from our taxes for rec and going to the, let me get it correct, the East Rec, it should be distributed in each district of Hendry
That's
County,
what I assumed.
which is part of us. Which the county replies back and saying that they don't own any land here within our parameters of Montour, which is our water control district, so they would not provide rec.
But they do own lots, because when they take these lots from people that don't pay their taxes, they take possession of it.
Absolutely.
So they do own property out there.
But that was his statement for the record, that's why they don't provide us any rec here. So I'm a firm believer, if that money was given to us, we will use it on the clubhouse as we seem fit for our residents here in Montura. If they choose to ask for it back, then there needs to be a tax deduction for anyone who lives here in Montura not to pay rec on their taxes. That's where I firmly stand with it, because we have not received nothing from Hendry County pertaining rec, because we have a clubhouse that has a full playground, gazebos, and a pool, basketball court, and we have a soccer field and a volleyball court. So I'm a firm believer that we're not paying that back. Now let's continue with our agenda.
Can I make a comment on D, Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
In reference to D, I agree with Santana that Becky has done a phenomenal job. And I'm not against her doing a great job. My thing is, my 2 cents, I want to see the process work. I'd like to see the process work. That's a very good question, that's what I'm saying. to see that the board wants to put this advertisement out to see what we do bring in. And so we can say that we did it the right way. I want a short list, hopefully soon, so we can get some people in here. And whoever would like to, whoever qualifies, and whoever has a good resume and the qualifications, so we do the right thing. But if that doesn't happen, definitely, I'm thinking differently, so I'm glad that the board, most of the board.
You be saying enough for about 6 months now, man. What am I gonna think different?
7 months.
6 more months?
7 more months.
So we're gonna move forward, with that, we're gonna move forward to E, discuss and vote on resolution on district engineer and contract for Stephen Jo. You're replacing Romero? Oh.
No,
I
I'm
got
not.
excited, I thought that was Steve. Okay. Go ahead.
Very simply, we do have an agreement, a written agreement with Steve Dobbs. It's not fully executed yet, but I believe the board had previously agreed that we could have the position available to the contractor. We just have to send it to him, get him signed. So, you know, by next, well, I'd say by tomorrow or by next week, we'll have it under contract, and it might be a good idea to start asking. We'll just present it at the next meeting, have it attend.
So you need us to vote on approving that?
We did that last session.
Yeah.
Paper bill for me, and I apologize, I have gotten it to speak to the guys.
Okay.
We have to move.
No, we already did, that's what I was asking, yeah, because we already had voted on that.
Yeah, we agreed to get him on board for 6 months, and then after that, then we could go full-time. Get him on contract.
Okay. Is he going to be tasked with our most red item, like, our red item tickets, such as the district and our grant that we, okay. He's already been briefed on that?
I asked him to come today.
Okay. Well, he's not on.
No, but only because the resolution, and we had spoken through email, and he was aware, through Ramiro, that it was already being offered to him.
Okay.
So
So-
he was,
This defense, he might have said,
Oh, but you're gonna figure that out, and I'll come by and sign it, and I might have said, no, give me another day, because I have to send you back in.
Okay.
And that may be the only reason why I didn't show up, because I said.
Thank you.
Electronic.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, we're going to move, forward to F, discuss and vote on RFP for roller. Ms. Hernandez?
so, the board asked me to, reach out to the, companies that we obtained the quotes from, and to see if we could get a demo. Well, the demo was sold. And he was trying to obtain another one.
Which demo was he gonna get?
Um,
The cap?
Yeah, with cap. He had one without the cap. He had one without the cap, but, they had just took it for, rental for purchase. So we didn't have it. It's the same, basically, he was the one that, I guess, helped with the roller way back when I gave him all the information on the Ingersoll. So he's like, Becky, it's the same one, it's just a better one, and it's the same though.
Ms. Hernandez, so for the roller, what was the grand total price on that roller?
It was 160 in like change. Yeah,
160,000, correct?
yes, sorry, yes, 160.
So the one you want to go with now is gonna be Ingersoll, or is it gonna be?
No, it's cap, it's a cap model.
Okay, cap model.
Yeah, it's a camp bottle. He just did the comparison, doing it, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Go ahead, Mark.
yes, sir.
Do we have equipment to move around, trailers or something?
Yes. The actual trailer that we have now, that we moved the old one on, it balances, it's the same weight, so we don't have to upgrade a trailer for it. Yeah.
If there's no further questions, we're gonna take it to vote. All in favor to approve of the RFP for the roller, say aye. Yes, the cap roller. say aye. All opposed? Or you guys are not voting? In favor or opposed?
In favor.
It passes.
Thank you.
Just to verify, we're putting on payments, correct?
Yes, so for 12 months, it's, a rent,
That's not payments.
well, it's payments up to our new budget. Because anything we pay right now as a rental for purchase, but that's what the RFP is. It basically goes towards the purchase of, equipment. Since we have the other equipment, like I explained in our last meeting, they're coming off, we can just go ahead and just pay it off. We're just brand new.
Because these ones with dollar buyout.
Yeah,
Okay, we're gonna move forward.
for the 12 months. That was for 12 months.
That's the best you can do. 160 for 12 months. We have a year to pay 160,000.
Yeah.
That's how we propose to forward that.
Well, it's a rental for purchase, so what we did with the tractors, they did it for 6 months. And when we paid in 6 months, then we had to move it for that was through John Deere, so that's a total different. And then I asked Dwayne about it, and it was like, well, what we do is for the 12 months. Now, that's what I just spoke to him about.
Okay, so then they ask, do you mind me asking the board a question then?
No, that's fine, that's fine.
If we're going that route now,
Sure.
I don't know if we have an extra 160,000 in around the year.
I think what she said was into our new budget. we
Yeah.
need to affect.
But that's still 160,000.
It'll be the difference. Yeah, it'll be the difference. It'll be the difference. Because whatever we're paying monthly, which would be 4,000 and change, that's the way he broke it down. It would be 4,000 the rental, and anything we pay towards that, which will be up to September, will go towards the purchase price. We have till a year, at 12 months, we need to decide if we're gonna, or just return it.
So we're looking at a year for 48,000 roughly then.
Yeah, for the rest of this year, yes, sir.
If we wanted to buy it, minus the 160,000.
Which we have to put it on our budget now in May. So remember, once we move on in our vehicles, we're not gonna use all the money that we allocated, which is 250,000. So there will be money there.
So the 4,000 that we're paying from now to September, if you could turn down the down payment on the unit.
Correct.
And moving forward, we got 12 months to pay.
No,
No, we're gonna.
no, it'll start once we do the contract.
At least roughly about 4,000 a month for 12 months, that's about 48,000. Then we have to come up with the remainder of the balance from the 160.
Which we won't have the vehicles on it anymore.
So that's still 100 and some thousand
112?
that we.
120,000.
For the new budget, it'll be for 2025, 2026.
Go ahead, you can ask.
Mr. Boyd, with next year's budget, at the rate that we're going, what do you foresee? I mean, I know we can pay this, we can make this happen, I know we have some things coming off. I didn't think that's how it was gonna be, I thought it was like a lease to own.
I can ask him and see if they extended the 5 years like they did the tractors.
Well,
But
that's
that's-
a big number to absorb, because we have lots of roads.
Because that's how we have to break it too, yeah.
One of the things that we gotta consider is that we voted for getting rid of all the surplus property that we had.
Yeah.
And we have to allocate that money into something and probably go to put it in there to absorb that which we need to move forward on that too.
Yes.
All right, I put that.
Okay, it's all right. So we're gonna move forward to G, discuss and vote on purchase of 6-seater golf cart for the district. Go ahead,
Yeah, that was just something I was thinking, yeah, because we're becoming a community that we could utilize that for our events and, use it at Central County, so that was just a thought of mine, that see if we could, purchase something like that for the district.
great question. Have anybody else on the board been to our golf tournament? Okay. This would be year 4 or year 3? Year 4. The past 3 years that the golf tournament has been going, the golf course always runs out of golf carts. Every time. And we have our team that usually drives around passing out water, taking photos, making sure everyone's having a great time. And to keep this in mind to the community, our golf tournament is our biggest fundraiser that we put on to generate money for our summer camp. That every kid in Montura, and these past couple years from LaBelle and Clewiston, if they have a relative, they come to our summer camp free of charge, and it doesn't cost the community of Montura anything, because all of the money that is generated from the golf tournament either pays back its bill, so if there was anything that was purchased from there, it pays it back, and then the surplus that's left over is for our summer camp. And with continuing of that, I think it is a great idea of us getting a golf cart or a couple.
Can I, make an addendum to the, motion? If the board decides not to do it, I mean, I can raise another 10, 12,000 for this golf tournament, purchase it out.
Yeah.
That won't be an issue.
Yeah.
I just need the support from the board to make it happen. With that, how successful it's gone every year, we should be able to reach about 60 to 80,000.
Absolutely.
Do we have an idea on what those,
Roughly anywhere between 10 to 12, 10 to 12K.
we're looking at about $25,000 for that.
Yeah, I'm just asking for
For one.
for Central County. But like I say, if the board votes to not approve it, I mean, you guys okay with me raising the funds during the golf tournament? I'll raise it that way so we can purchase it through that. And then a little less money goes to summer camp, so I have options.
What about the ones at Walmart?
I think those are not golf carts. I think that's
Okay.
or maybe a nice pre-owned one. There's a lot of nice pre-owned ones out there as well. I'm not against that. I just, since we are that kind of community, we do have these events.
You should get a quote, to see, because we don't have nothing in the budget for that.
Yes, sir. So those are my few options.
Okay. So we have a motion on, would you like for him to
It
return?
doesn't matter. Or redo it.
Okay.
That's what that is.
So we have a motion on the floor to vote on purchasing of a 6-year golf cart. Central County, if not any funding that is raised from the golf cart, it will purchase one, so be it. Do I have a second?
Second. No, I can't make a motion.
Second
I
by,
think I can, I can't make a motion, right? Yeah, I'm not the chair, so I'll make a motion.
second by Robert. All in favor? All opposed?
And whichever way
It
you guys want
passes.
me to make it happen, we'll make it happen. We're trying to get as much outside regulation as possible.
Okay, we're going to go to H, discuss and vote on to add staff to Saturday and Sunday for the pool.
If you don't mind, I want to discuss that. So last year, I was up at the clubhouse quite a few times on a Saturday and Sunday, and it was real packed, it was real thick. It was good to see the community utilizing our clubhouse. The only thing that was kind of, that I noticed though, that the residents were getting kind of antsy because they didn't have access to the pool, because it was at capacity, and our team that we had couldn't control the crowd that we had. So I don't want to, and I've seen it several times last year, I don't kind of want to see that happen this year, and we have more people now than last year. So I was thinking if some type of way that we could maybe, I don't know, a part-time employee or somebody to assist on the weekend while the pool is open to help maintain some type of order within our pool area, because our residents were not listening to anything what the people were telling them. They were telling them not to go in, and they were going through the chain
because that's something that major areas do that do have community pools. They give them time limits, you know, an hour, 2 hours,
That could be, that could be.
because it's a safety concern, and they want everyone to enjoy the pool, like, everyone should enjoy the pool, but without injuring or having anyone hurt. For creating another position, I know that we still haven't filled the part-time position that was drafted almost a year ago.
Sure.
Because we still haven't had the concession stand built out there.
Sure.
So you can put the motion to refigure that position, which was already approved. Instead of the just for concession, it's a part-time position just for Saturday and Sunday for the pool. But from my understanding, not a lot of people want to work Saturday and Sunday.
So before we vote on it, I'd like to see what the board thinks about the idea, or they think leave it alone.
Safety is my number one concern, especially that we do have a lot of kids in the community, and our community is growing. We do have to adopt safety policies, but from my understanding is we did vote to allow anyone to swim in the pool at their own risk.
Correct.
So on a legal standpoint, that protects us.
Sure.
It's just when it comes to the health concern, how many people are actually in there,
Sure.
I think our staff should take account to that.
I do want to state, I'm sorry, Mr. Mata, I do want to state that I spoke with Ms. Yolanda, that for public commercial pools, they're requiring at least 6 lifeguards. There's 2 on the chairs and 1 walking around, and so then to be able to switch. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, because I guess of all the drownings that happened last year, they, in legislation, they changed the law.
So let me ask you,
And she just told me that, so I was, she says, you're gonna need more than just 3 lifeguards. And she says she's willing to help us part-time as well.
so the few times that I went out there to the pool, if I'm not mistaken, I would see 2 on the chair,
Mhm.
and every once in a while, there was a girl, but not often. So my question is, we only have, if we limit 40, that's the limit in the pool,
Mhm.
each lifeguard has to pretty much pay attention to 20 people in that pool at all times.
Yeah,
That's why I was wanting to see if we
that extra
could
stuff.
make sure that people are not getting passed, because again,
And that's where I put down, I,
just my 2 cents.
yeah, I put an I to build a policy as part of Central County that, like, when you go to the city pool, you have to sign in. And basically they give you an hour at the pool with your guest until you can reach that max. If there's nobody waiting in line, then you can stay. If there's people, then the staff will tell them, your time's up, you wanna come back, you can sign up again, but the next group of people that are waiting have that opportunity to come in. Because the thing is that most people go there and they stay there 3 and 4 hours, and they don't give nobody else opportunity. So when they're there that long, you know, it's like, they don't, you know, well, we pay taxes, well, everybody here pays taxes, you know, and everybody has the right to enjoy the facilities in the pool area. So my thing was, asking permission to do the sign-in sheet with a time limit, and, start enforcing that. I mean, the only thing that I see is as staff, and with us enforcing it, you know, there's gonna be people that are gonna be upset, there's gonna be more phone calls, and if not, on the weekend, hire a security guard, just for those hours.
So, I got a
The
question.
pool's open from 9 to 5, 5:30 to 6.
So for all the people that was causing all the problems, was they kicked out of the clubhouse? What was done with the whole situation?
Honestly, I wasn't involved in that.
It
No,
wasn't addressed?
that's what I'm stating.
So-
So I
Do
don't,
we have any management per se on weekends, staff?
Well, within the lifeguards, you have a head lifeguard?
yes, it was a lifeguard. And I'm assuming they addressed it, you know,
Yeah.
to the staff that was there. I know Jesse did tell me that he had to tell people to leave. But that was, you know, and you know,
many of them are experienced, like, has been there for a long time? Out of the three?
Well, Ms. Juana's been with us forever.
Yeah, well, was she there that day?
No, I don't know what day he was talking about, to be honest. That's what I'm saying. If it was a younger, Kalia's been there for 2 years. She's been here 2 years. Daniela has been there also 2 years.
She's working there now?
No, Daniela's not there. Nobody's out there, nobody's working right now. For lifeguard, so the pool's not open. Yeah, that's what it stated. No, it wasn't now. It wasn't now.
Okay, sorry.
No. It happened prior. And that's what he stated, that he saw there were so many people. And I know that Jesse's told people that they close it, you can't go past that, you know? And, what he's stating is that there's other employees that don't like that confrontation because you have to deal with the public, you know? That is part of the responsibility.
territory.
I know. I agree, I'm not stating that, but I'm just, you know, that's one of the things to kind of avoid, and if you have backup there to help you, while you're dealing with the situation, the other person's still attending the people that are coming in.
A question I have, are all of our, clubhouse personnel bilingual?
Yes,
Okay. Something,
no, he said personnel.
Oh, for us?
yeah,
Yeah,
something that with modest motion, something that I will highly recommend, to also be added into that, is if we are going to adopt a policy and we do have, someone in charge at the clubhouse, we have to put parameters that address it to the community when coming into the clubhouse. That little rope thing that's there is not gonna work, you know, either a gate, like how they have at other communities where they have to physically stop and open the gate, where they can't jump over it. And having a staff personnel with signage saying, hey, you need to please check in with someone. Finding some kind of measure that will help us deter people into signing up, and saying, hey, this is where you need to sign up. I do know, but I don't know the cost of it. I know some communities have their like bracelets that go on, they're reusable bracelets that go onto their wrist. That you can set the timer and then they vibrate and you have to take them, that's your sign of getting out of the pool. I don't know the cost of that. It could be costly, it could be, we don't know. But that is something that we do need to take as a safety precaution. As we do grow, it's something that we establish now for the long haul. Because as we do grow, our clubhouse will be getting to its time to be either remodeled or tore down and built a new one to accommodate our community. But at this time, we do need to adopt a safety policy. So, you ready for your motion?
I'm ready, I just wanted to know if the board had any comments or concerns.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
What's gonna be the motion?
So his motion is to hire another personnel, or multiple,
For the weekend.
for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday for the pool.
Part-time to assist with, the staff that work there because of the amount of people. We're at our limit, I think we were at our limit every weekend, weren't we? Last year.
I think so.
I'm gonna apply for that position?
Like I said,
For sure.
Yeah.
Right, we,
bless,
I need the money.
40 plus.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, baby, can I apply for that position?
40 plus.
Can I apply for that position?
No. Yeah.
So it'd be 3 full-time, 1 part-time?
Yeah. Well, the part-time's there.
Yeah.
We have a part-time. It would just be, it won't just be for what he requested it for, which was a concession stand.
Yeah.
It would be an actual staff,
Yep.
to be not just,
And just to put it in perspective, Becky, how long is the pool used for from when to when? So the board have a good understanding.
normally it's open from spring break that week, and then every weekend after that. It's open till November. So the end of October, the first week of November, is when it closes for the,
And then,
So about 6-7 months.
yes, sir.
and then let me ask this question. During Monday through Friday, anyone can go in there and swim at their own risk.
But they need to be accompanied by an adult.
And if they are an adult,
They still need somebody there with them. Because if they have a heart attack or something, or they get a cramp in the water, there's no
So the motion on the floor is
I have
to,
one thing I want to bring up
Go
too.
ahead.
I want to make sure too that, that the part-time employee understands that they don't get the same benefits as your full-time. I know last year we had an issue with some of them that they got overtime and stuff, and they weren't supposed to, and there's off on certain
And that's
days
the,
for holidays that they're not
so if it's a
supposed to.
part-time person, okay, so that's, like, let's say we have somebody that would wanna get their FRS benefits. Are we gonna offer it to them, just as a part-time?
I would say no.
Or we're just gonna do it like an OPS position? So basically, there will be no benefits at all?
I would say, sorry.
Cause I think even the lifeguards that are there now, I don't
They
think,
do get FRS?
do they? They get, holiday pay too?
No,
Okay.
no,
Yeah,
only
yeah.
the FRS.
Yeah, because I remember I seen that in the payroll that, one out of like two got paid, and then I brought it up, like, why did this one get it, the
I
other?
remember.
And I was going through the things,
I
and
Hey,
They're
full-time?
not eligible for it by law, I guess.
Yeah, no.
Okay. I wanna make sure that they're aware of that, okay.
It was just the FRS that they were, that they do get.
Yeah.
But that was it. So that would be my question. Would we offer just the FRS without?
I say, in my opinion, you're talking about state retirement
Yes,
to a non-full-time employee.
but that's just like well, it's a seasonal.
It's a non-full-time employee.
Mhm.
The next year somebody else.
You're offering them,
Mhm.
you're offering them pension, so non-full-time employee. If it was me, I'd love that opportunity.
Well, I'm just stating it because that's what we offer also the lifeguards.
So for instance, again, that's where I don't understand, how are you giving non-full-time employees
That's,
that benefit?
that's the policy that
So
you
let me-
they-
yeah.
It was before all of us.
now let
But
me
that
ask
was
this
the
question.
influence before I got here.
Well, because what's,
Sorry.
Yeah, so my question is, if our part-time employees, let's say, are they strictly just for Saturday and Sunday? Because on Saturday and Sunday, please keep in mind, there's some days where there's nothing happening at the pool. They're still scheduled to work. So let's say, this is theoretical, they're a part-time employee and we have a clubhouse employee that's sick and we need to have personnel. Can they fill in for that person?
yeah, so.
Because after a certain amount of hours, if they may, let's say we have this person who's been out, and this person this week magically accumulate a full-time person's pay. Sometimes, from what my understanding is, if it's a repeated thing, we have to put them as a full-time employee.
No, no.
So the thing with lifeguard, what you're getting at is that before, they used to have, employees at the clubhouse, that whenever it's off-season,
Mhm.
there wasn't lifeguard, but they still maintained the pool, they still had duties of,
Correct.
like Valerie still
Correct.
cleaned the clubhouse and then so on. And then whenever the spring came around, then they converted over to, so
Yeah,
it was a dual function employee instead of hiring three, and then season's done, they're gone, and then you keep your original employee. That's how it used to be ran for many years, and it was kind of good in a sense, because you know that they're gonna be certified, and they're gonna be there every year, unless they move on somewhere else. But
Okay.
now, they have three employees there now, and then they have to hire, a couple more.
So thank you, Chris, that's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
So is that what we're looking to hire for the part-time? No,
No.
Part-time for,
Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah,
And
it's just to help us this.
But that's the run of it, that's the run of it. I mean, there's times when even Friday during the summer, it's gonna be packed.
Because the
The run on Saturday,
and-
will be adults and whole thing.
Yeah, and the other reason why I'm bringing it up, I think it would be a great idea, because a lot of our events that we have, some hourly employees that make a lot, we're paying them their hourly rate when they're at these events, where we can pay our part-time help for some of these events.
Sometimes we get some people, it's a lot of time.
No, I understand.
Like the Easter event, that's a lot of.
Yeah, that's hands off. Okay, so we're gonna move forward with the motion. We have a motion on the floor to.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
The motion is to take the regular part-time position we have, adjust it, correct? All we're gonna do is change it to a regular staff to be present every Saturday and Sunday to help.
He's on a part-time basis.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so it's not specifically.
Correct.
motion, yes, thank you, Mr. Hernandez. To hire a new staff member, part-time staff member for Saturday and Sunday for pool, to help out at the clubhouse. We have a motion on the floor, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Santana, all in favor?
Aye.
Passes. We're going to I, discuss and vote on policy for pool sign-in sheet for landowners, and residents.
Well, I already spoke on that, so I was just asking for permission from the board if they, we can draft it. And then we can start enforcing it before this, we open the pool area, so people will be aware of it from now.
Yeah, I think we need to have some kind of other measures than just a sign-in sheet.
Again, it's gonna be, the sign-in sheet's gonna have, they have to verify that they do live here. We've had a lot of people that come from Hialeah, from Lehigh, and they've used our facilities. We have to make the landowners responsible too. They can't just send their visitors, and they consume our pool when it's for all of the residents.
Now, for the residents of Montura, we
Their
can't,
ID.
yeah, we can't do that because some of the residents here in Montura that they live here, I know some of our landowners have addresses elsewhere, even though they own land.
But their light bills show that they are residents here.
Yeah. Cause I know a couple people that they own land here, but they don't live here.
How about they have vacant land, but they don't live here?
Yeah, they're
That's
planning on it.
easy. You can look it up on property appraisal.
Our staff,
Yes, they've done it before.
that's what we're.
I used to do it at the dumpster.
Okay,
When they
so,
would come to dump,
Okay,
you either had, if you're a resident, you had your light bill, even if it wasn't on your ID, but you did have your light bill.
so how do you foresee this with our staff, lifeguard, how do you foresee this happening?
For our staff, the one that's there at the clubhouse. And we got a part-time person now.
we can't do
So,
like how they do
we're
community
enforcing
cards, where we, like library cards, community cards,
We
where they
can do
sign up
whatever,
and
we
they
can
get
do whatever
issued.
the board, I'm just saying that.
And that's a
when we-
lot to bring just to go to the pool.
Different measures.
Yeah, a different measure of trying to take control
Yeah.
of how many people are going into the pool, because that's a liability. Regardless, it's a liability. You guys just, again, we need an extra person for when situations arise. We already got it approved. But what is gonna be in place for those two employees that are in the clubhouse to make sure that they are following protocol? Did they sign in? How long have you been there? It's time for you to leave. Can you please, we have another family waiting. You know what I'm saying? Being polite, I'm just saying. Oh, well, how do you know how long I've been here? I've been here since 7 o'clock in the morning. I had you sign in. This is the time. You're looking at the time. Staff is writing it in. Okay? Enjoy your hour.
So you're asking for a sign-in sheet for individuals in the pool?
Correct.
So like if they're, let's say for instance, I'm 41,
Mhm.
me and my family is 41 through 44, right? Say for instance, and I have some friends. When somebody gets out, they're gonna come find me,
Yes.
or I have to go, I get skipped, or if I'm not there,
Well, again, if you're still there, they're gonna be like, oh, again, once it's in place. This person's been, you got 20 minutes before any one of these people that are here that signed in, let's just say they 4 signed in at the same time. You got 22 minutes, if you wanna sit and wait, you're gonna have to wait 20 minutes,
or come back at the.
or come back at this time.
Okay,
You understand? But if you don't, then we're gonna cross you out, whoever's here will take your place.
Yep.
I mean, fair is fair, what I'm saying is, there's nothing right now.
If the board opposes it, let's table this, and if you can present us with what other communities do with public pools,
That's what they do.
let's see what they do. I don't like the paper method, just, I think we should have something digital, like a card thing where they sign up, they boop, and they'll have their timer, this is when you need to get out. So the paper thing, if someone goes to the bathroom and forgets, the system's not going to forget, the system's gonna keep running like nothing fluently. That if anybody's clocking in or coming in after their lunch, they say, oh, this group needs to get out, this group needs to get out. So let's look, if the board's okay with it, let's table it, see if we can find something in that parameter that's computerized.
Let me ask you, Vicky, this means only property owners can go inside the pool?
No, no.
Property owner.
The property owner needs to be with the family,
So that's one of the issues I want to bring up.
yeah.
So what about, for example, if a family wanna go to the pool,
Mhm.
I know they are working, I know, they don't do that, they cannot go into the pool?
Well, if your wife's home, you would
I
have her
suppose,
Monday.
like today, I called
But
you,
she, again,
my
yeah,
daughter wanna go with my
Yeah.
grandson to the pool.
but your
I
daughter
called
lives with you.
Huh?
Your daughter lives with you.
Well,
No, I don't like that
The,
idea.
I believe we're gonna be discriminating families, we're gonna be discriminating
I'm not.
people that are visiting
Mhm.
outside here, the resident of Monterrey, I don't like that.
we have two issues.
I don't like
So
that.
there's people that have been renters here that I've known that they've born here, they've never owned a house, they've rented, lifelong residents. And I don't wanna see them, their kids, or them not be able to go. Second thing is, it's like if, so if I own a property, my wife is not on the tax deed, she lived with me forever, she won't be able to go in. So, you know, so that's stuff we need to consider, because whenever we set this in stone, so you have to be a
Yeah.
landowner.
No.
And, you know, there's a lot of people that put their name individually, they want their spouse or a kid on it, and then whenever they try to go, you really hurt a lot of people.
Maybe family members come from a town or any other place, they wanna go into the pool, when you work at that time. So, you know,
And again, if they have, like you said, if you get something electronic, let's just say, your scan card. You give it to your family member, they have your card, they can scan in with your card. If you don't have the card, you don't have access. Because the thing is then, anybody, like they've done right now, they come from afar to use our pool. We've had people from LaBelle, we've had people from Harlem, we've had people from elsewhere, and they consume the time of our personal residents that are here,
maybe
and they
let
can't
them
get
use
in.
it, let them use it,
Hmm?
let them use it.
That's not my point. My point is that we're at max, if we're at max at 40, and there's people that are from Lehigh, and there's people from Harlem and LaBelle in our community pool, until somebody leaves,
Residents and our tenants
are just sitting there waiting for them to come in, it's unfair to our landowners, that is what I'm
This
saying.
is a free country.
No, I think if we
I
have,
live in Hialeah.
Yeah.
When I used to live in Hialeah, I used to go to any pool, any park, in Miami, in Kendall, anywhere, and nobody tells you cannot go. I don't like that. Communist idea and all that, I don't like those.
Well, again,
I like freedom, I like freedom.
I understand that, but since we are a water district and we're responsible for recreation, we have to make sure that there's rules in place for that, is what I'm stating. Because then we're accepting everything and everyone, so the day you bring your family, let's just say your daughter comes with your grandson, right? And she comes back and she's like, well, I couldn't even get into the pool for 2 hours because there was people that been there and they didn't wanna leave. You're gonna come back as a board member, you're gonna be like, well, we need to do something about it.
But
It's what I'm stating.
If they were there before
You know?
my daughter have to wait or leave.
okay, so I understand his point, I understand 100% what you're saying, Chris. If we have electronic version of it, they're gonna have to sign up, you know, we're gonna have to make sure they're of age to be in the pool. And if it's a group, and if it's kids, you know, we can make a policy that states if you have a registered card, that means you're a resident here or landowner, and you can accompany your guest, but your guests have to be notated in the system.
And the kids have to be accompanied by the.
Yeah, so as long as we have something that is on a system that can keep track of everyone who's coming in, keeping track of the time, I don't have a problem with that. But just telling landowners they're the only ones allowed in the pool, that's wrong, because I have a lot of people who've been here for years that are renters, they stay in their parents' land, and they enjoy all of our amenities, and I don't feel like it's right for us to say, oh, you can't go to the clubhouse because you're not a landowner, or your landowner has to accompany you. So I think if we have a sign-up system, something that says, hey, I live here, you know, that they pre-fill out before going to the pool, they get their card, like the library, you go check out, stuff like that, and if we need to pull the system saying, hey, there was an incident happened in the pool, who's all in the pool? The system's gonna pull it up really quick, you look, and you give it to the proper authorities. That's what I'm proposing, we table this, find to see if there's a solution, because this is not new to somebody else. What I mean is another community probably dealt with this and they found a system that works. So I think we just need to table it and find something that works for us. If the board's good with that, we're gonna move forward. Okay. We're going to go to J, discuss and vote on new sport complex engineer plans to be done in phases. Ms. Hernandez.
Those, I've spoken to a few of our supervisors in regards to how much are we gonna continue to put into the clubhouse as it is right now. You guys approved the AC, but in order to do the AC, we have to update the doors. And there's, other issues. The lift station is since the beginning of time that it was established. The foundation has shifted throughout years. Any updates on it, it's very costly. So, again, if we have a plan in place, there's grants out there for recreation, like through the USDA, with, OVID, they gave us an Excel spreadsheet, which shows the grants that are available. If we put in 10, they give us 10. If we put in 50, they give us 50. So, but we don't have nothing right now as a master plan for our clubhouse to be updated. Updated or tore down in phases, you know, or revamp it some way, somehow, because right now, we have the pool, the small pool, it's closed right now, and it's got a crack in it. We just fixed the big pool a year ago, almost 2 years ago. The surface, it's a surface one. And again, but we're gonna keep pouring it. The slide has cracks in it. We're gonna bring it down this week. We have to get rid of it. We can't put nothing back right now there. So how far are we gonna continue to pour into something that is still falling apart? And so my request to the board is, this is where our engineer comes in, find an engineer to start a master plan in phasing out and doing something about not just the clubhouse, but our park, and involve it all and do it in phases. We have so much land, but we're not using it, you know, and there's so much that we can benefit for the children in our community, and even for us as the adults, you know. And I know that there's cities that have beautiful sports complex, you know, and it's something that we would like to mimic. Do we have the money? No, but if we can chase it with grants, I'm asking now because our budget's coming for next year. So I just want to throw that out there and put it in your heads to see if we can work towards it, because there's grants that they'll give you money for the planning of it as well.
I don't have a comment, Chair. I'd like to see an existing clubhouse stay as a historical piece for us in Montserrat. I don't disagree about the master plan and everything, but I like that historical thing to stay, rehab, and utilize it for something maybe simple, something, but not to tear. I hate to tear that part down as a board member here, because that's pretty much the landmark of.
So that's monument.
That's the landmark of this community. So I like to see it rehab and stay. My personal, this is my 2 cents. I like to see that stay, rehab, and use it for a different purpose. But as far as new pools, new design, fitness trails, barbecue events for the weekend, pavilions, you know, all those things, dog parks that we want, all those things to be used. I think it's great. But me personally, as a board member, I'd like for that clubhouse that we have is to stay as much as possible. I hate to see that tore down.
And yeah, with that being said, I agree with Mata. The clubhouse does need to be, something needs to happen with it. But if we do plan on approving the project, I don't want it to be called a sports complex. I think it should be called, you know, Montserrat's Community Center. Because if we do move into a different direction and incorporating Montserrat either into a town or a city, whatever we decide as a body, that is our beating heart. So that structure has to be built and planned for the future. So we may need it to accommodate this room to accommodate every single member in Montour, because this room is not big enough to host big, workshops or events with our community, as that's why we do have it there at the clubhouse. So that's something that needs to be incorporated. And also, some area for a kitchen, that a full-on kitchen, that if we want to do, community events, we have a kitchen, to serve food. The showers and bathrooms are absolute must, but look into, lockers and stuff like that when getting that engineer plan. And another thing I am going to suggest to the board, because this is something I've been looking into as well, if we do approve it, we do need to have it financed, and it has to be a budget item, like it is on the road, that we pay. Because projects like this will never get done if we don't pay a contractor or someone to get the job done, and they're gonna have an execution date. You start this time, it ends this time, and we'll be paying for it until it's paid off. Because if we say, oh, we're gonna start it in phases and then we pay it every year, we do have the notion that a new board may come in and say, oh, well, it's costing us too much, let's stop it. And I think if we do it in getting the price of the project out now, let's say $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, whatever it is, and saying, hey, John Boy, we need a loan for that amount. We're a government entity. This is how long it's going to last. We'll be paying it monthly or yearly, whatever it may be, and it will be a big budget item. Because I don't want to see a project like this take 4 or 5 years. I'm willing to see it take up a year. And some contractors could say, look, I could do it out of steel, as a barn a million, and it'll be up within 6 months. So we don't know. We need to get our engineer on that. But that's something that I want the board to keep in mind for a project this scale. We can't have it down too long, because that's our beating heart. That's where we host all of our events. And that's our community center for our kids, for our summer camp. So this is stuff that I want the board to keep in mind. If we do move forward with that, we as a board have to prepare for, if we start the project, where are we going to put our kids for that summer? Where are we going to incorporate a lot of other things for our community? Because the events can't stop, and what we provide our citizens can't stop either.
Well, there's probably some definite inconveniences in the community.
Oh, absolutely.
When you take up a project of this.
Absolutely.
I think also as a board, as we're on here now, because it might change, or it might change in a few months, correct? And it might change in the future, is that we come up with creative ways to have, like, the United Way, they put the red line where it's at. We need to start raising funding to make those things happen. So more events, chili cook-off, or we start, start bringing in some money from people to the feed carnivals, those type of things, just thinking outside the box, and all the proceeds go to this type of thing.
Agreed. So the motion on the floor is to vote on redoing.
You need like an architect, though. You need like an architect design for.
Well, what I'm asking is, so we can start looking for
Okay.
design.
The motion is
And
looking
present it to the board.
for a new design for our community center, and to be done in phases. Do I have a second? Second by Roberto. Do you that's
No, somebody has, I'm asking
You
you,
can't make that motion.
somebody has to motion.
I'm sorry, board. We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a first?
I'll make the motion.
By Mata, and second by Robert. All in favor? All opposed? It passes. Let's move forward to K, discuss and vote 4-day.
Scratch that out, please.
Okay,
And the last one is my item.
alrighty. We're gonna go, skip K, K's being removed, and we're going to go to L, discuss and vote on how many. Okay,
How much land to be used for the dog park,
Right.
riding, hours, open, benches, parking, and funding.
okay.
You guys approved the dog park in our last meeting, but we didn't touch on any of the funding on where it's gonna come from and how it's gonna move forward. The parking, we can't use the parking from the clubhouse in the front, because then they're gonna be walking their dogs through the main grass, and they're gonna deposit before they even get to the dog park. And so there's fencing that needs to go up to make sure how much of the property on the 4-H that you guys did talk about, if that is exactly where we're gonna do it, how much land are we gonna use of it? And there's a lot of details that were not given.
Correct.
And
So-
so that's something that need a direction, so we can look up obstacles, cause Mr. Self asked about, what it's gonna cost with putting in an obstacle course for like the dogs and stuff like
Sure.
that. And,
That's no too expensive.
So with that being said, what you propose at J, I think if we get that and we tell the engineer or architect that we want a dog park to be placed in it, I think that's something that we'll have in the master plan that we can do ahead of time if it's not without the parameters. But pouring money into a dog park right now, if we're looking into getting a new community center, is a waste of money, because we may, in that area, he may say, hey, this is what needs to go here. Or she may say, this is what needs to go here. So let's be cautious of improvements, if they're not something that can be moved and reused. Because a lot of, the benches, parking, stuff like that is gonna be proposed in that master plan. And we can say, hey, these are some small items, can you address them immediately? Because when they do give you a proposal, they're gonna tell you by square foot, by what area it's going to be at. So I think that's something, my opinion, board, I think that's something we should table until we do get that plan to see.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They will.
So,
What do you think we're gonna
we
think?
all voted on the dog park and stuff, and I did too. And, when I went to the soccer event, I was walking around the facility looking at everything. I seen a lot of down fences. I seen a lot of stuff that needs to be replaced. And I believe I made a bad decision on voting for the dog park. And I think that we have a lot bigger problems than, that we should allocate the money to something that's already there. Because doing a big project with the dog park, there's a lot of liability, there's a lot of gray areas in there. Like she's stating now, you get to walk, you have the kids playing with the ball. It's a recipe for disaster. I mean, people have large properties out here. I mean, I'm not against it, but I think we have a lot bigger fish to fry right now than the dog park, and that we should probably just stray away from that and deal with the problems we have now, invest in backyard fences and facilities.
Let me ask on that, and I want to go back on this topic, the budget for that, my budget for the clubhouse, you can address all those concerns that you know, they should be using that, but the allocated budget to get those prepared. But there's quite a few companies, even in our area, I believe, there's a few basic companies that should be able to address those safety concerns. And
Yeah.
we do have stuff that's now, we do definitely have safety measures, those have to be on.
Yeah, like even at the pool, if you see how they shower, it's just PVC pipe, it looks horrible. The bathrooms needs to be redone. They used to have showers, no showers, it's not even,
well, that pool room is part of the pool room that needed to be.
yeah,
We
so,
already voted on the dog park, we approved.
well, so it'd be good if we kind of rethink this. It's just my opinion. I think we rethink about the whole dog park, and put the money where it needs to go.
We already voted, we approved.
We can vote against it too.
Any other comments, concerns, questions?
I do, I have a question, that 4-H area that was for horses one time, how much land is back there?
There's like 3 acres back there.
There's 3 acres, so you asked us how much you could.
How much of the land
Of
is
3
the
acres.
board, is wanting for that, to utilize for that dog park? And if we're gonna use that area back there, we would have to, my opinion, the box was to do the entrance to the dog park through Usoda, a driveway through there, and then they can just park right there with the dogs. But again,
Oh, like how we have.
it's a lot, is what I'm stating, there's a lot of details that we're not given. And so that's all I'm asking for, and if we're gonna put it as part of the engineering plan, and we can phase it out, if that's something that's gonna be in a certain area, we could do it that way. I'm just asking for the direction of the board on how we're gonna move forward.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor, to
Motion.
go, we have a discussion, okay. To vote on for the details for the dog park at the clubhouse. Do I have a motion?
I want you for what?
The dog park details.
Details?
Mm-hmm.
That's up to an engineer. Engineer have to make all the details and do whatever he have to do to make it look good.
Okay,
I
so
think what
see,
you're asking for here, Chair, is first and foremost, is how much land does the board would like to allocate to have a dog park?
I think we decided to let the engineer do that. So I think we're gonna move on, we're gonna move forward with that and go into staff report. District manager?
Still working with Obed on the resilient grant and, the future of a grant and to see how far, right now, I've spoken to a few of, the board members. They're changing the verbiage on the grants in respect to, we put drainage and I say culverts. The culverts are the ones that are on the end of the canal banks, and they say drainage. It is drainage, but it's the actual culvert that we're changing, because they haven't been changed out. They're just looking at verbiage, being that we've had quite a few of them that are collapsing, that they're very, very old. They're willing to give us reimbursement on that. So, I have the breakdown of the different culverts that we changed out already. They said, they were just waiting on the confirmation from higher up. They didn't see it to be a big deal. It is drainage. I just, when you say culvert and they say drainage, so they want to just be on the same page. So when anything comes through, they see it, it's worded properly. And this is one of the grant of the 4 million that was awarded to us. But it's not something that we can win. So, they were willing, they did say that they are willing to reimburse what we're doing and, the labor and the cost of materials and everything that we're, putting in. The Henry County meeting grant, that's on the 1.6 million. We had an actual pre-meeting today as well. They were supposed to call me from the engineering group that is in charge of it. The young lady is in a conference, and so she wasn't on. But, Sterling is supposed to call us back with, an update and send me an email. So I will forward that to the board as I receive it, okay? They did start the bidding of the 15 days. They didn't get anything back from the, the tribe and the different areas that they have to advertise to and ask for permission and all that. It was very great on the conversation. So I said, you guys have to do something because I need more details, All I hear is, 15 days, then the 24-day process, and there's nothing. So, and we're getting now into our,
if I don't, Stephen, is John being on these, from your knowledge, has John been attending these meetings? John was on the phone with them?
it wasn't the last one, but this one that was for today, it was literally just me and, one of the county people that were on there. None of the engineering that is in charge of it was on there. And it was literally like 2 seconds. And I said, I'm at a loss, so y'all need to come.
Yeah.
We need to talk about this because, she was supposed to get back with me, the young lady, and she never did. She said on the one with Primero, she would get hold of me, and I never received. I let her. So,
Yeah, because the reason I asked is because the board gave John directive to make sure moving forward that we put pressure onto the county, legally, and getting a response response regarding this grant, because we're going over a year now that we haven't received nothing or any confirmation of the project being started. Because if we don't get a direct answer from them when we're gonna start on the project or what's going on, and not beating around the bush, that we are going to take it up to the state regarding, the county is refusing to do their public funds.
Okay, so I was on the meeting where they gave a whole song and dance about what was going on, and then
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be direct to John to.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. Is there a way that we can participate in these conference calls without violating sunshine law? Or is that kind of a sketchier?
That's why we brief you after, generally, because if one goes, then everybody can go.
Or is there a way that we could become kind of briefed with exact, because I hate to know about this like way after,
Yes,
but to let us know that beforehand, hey, we're gonna have a meeting. That's one of the biggest issues that we have is just information of, because you hear, secondhand, hey, they had a meeting or this or that.
So the way, the logistic problem is that, sure, we do it all the time, we brief you individually on whatever it is we brief. When you ask somebody else to do it, well, because we have to say, we have 5 board members, we should make time to speak with each of them in private in order to convey this information, because otherwise, if we're doing it, then boom, sunshine. Right. So what we can do, I think one way to do it is just to notice you do it the way we normally do it, of a meeting that's ended. Finish the meeting and then send the after action to you the way we do it after the meeting.
Yeah, so whenever a meeting comes up, like now, we're familiar with it, because now we're kind of getting the information.
Literally, there has been more than any.
We can ask them to come up here before us, right? So we've had, for example, on Ovid, not bad. I imagine the county's gonna be reluctant, they're gonna tell us that.
Yeah.
It's, nothing is coming to fruition, but that would be another way to do it, is at least they would check the box and ask them, what they do to that board. So, I'll do that. Okay.
Just quickly, I did reach out to DS Asphalt in regards to the 833 in Hacienda and Horse Club in 833. For the paved roads. You guys talked about the maintenance. And, I reached out to DS Asphalt, the other company that I told you her as well. I never got a quote from them. And the other companies, they're not really into the maintenance part because we're so small. It's not cost effective for them, to come out here. I did get a quote from DS Asphalt, it's in your, in your agenda. Yes, sir, yes. I would need it, I want to, so we can go ahead and he broke it down in 3 different ways of how he could charge us.
Where's that? Oh, I don't have the.
And this is for us, the end of the day, 3300 club?
Yes, yes, sir, yes. I'm sorry, that's what I was saying, it's like 33, right? It's, hunting club, or horse club. Either or. Yeah, that's it. So he did it in, the first one is by square footage. Where you see it says 2,500 feet by 20 out, so, basically like a half a mile. And then the other one is just by square feet, what he would charge. So you can kind of get the estimate of what it would be.
And what's the difference if we don't pay for it?
No. He will do it in payments. He will do it in payments.
Yeah. So, one of the things I see that they're gonna cut the edges of the roads down. What if Central County did that to kind of alleviate, or what would they deduct off of that? That's something that.
Okay, I can ask him.
Can you do this for me, because this is something that I've seen other areas like ourselves do. Can he give us a scope, this is just a theoretical, have him give us a scope of all of the work, all of Montour, all of the asphalting that the board is requesting, and then ask him if it's a closed, if he can do a closed agreement, basically saying he'll complete the work, and that he'll have payments, because if he's allowing payment, we'll do that payment process, instead of taking the full charge, taking the full lunch. So let's say to repave or resurface all of these damaged areas in Montauk comes out to $500,000. He's gonna complete the project within a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it may be. And then we'll pay him.
Do you want me to ask him what his findings?
Pay installments,
Yeah, installments, yeah, yeah,
is it like a rent to own?
yeah, that's a lot of money that he'll be out.
Yeah. If we go belly up again, we can't raise taxes, we can't.
I think a number of that is supposed to allocate certain money per year and it's after it's charged, it's after the year. So even when it stopped for a while, our last one, that we did, that was the last one.
Yeah.
But we wanna also make sure that if we go with him this year, that we do keep him in mind, but we also do let him know that it'll go up for bid again.
Oh, of course.
And allow other people to bid on it, so we're not getting stuck in a price every time and it's gonna increase. That's my own.
Yeah, we gotta still remember that these properties, if we auction them off and we can make something, you know, you have enough for your roller, then we might have some that we can allocate back towards, the Honey Club project. So the faster we move on auctioning off these properties that we don't need, the faster we know how much money we have to allocate where. So if we do that, I mean, we'll be better off.
So, I mean, the pump stations, light fixtures, we've installed light fixtures inside our pump stations. And they basically run off battery.
Run off the battery,
Mhm.
off the pump?
Mhm.
Okay. So long as the pump's on, it'll.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll run, and then before, it's just to have it, cause like I said, we were asking for the light posts, which we have light posts, and I'm still waiting for the electric to come change the regular lights that are there. But on top of that, we're coming into rainy season, I didn't wanna wait for the last minute, because it's just more, it's too much. There's been snakes, and there's been other animals lately, there's been a panther that's been hanging out on pump 9 and 10.
Does FWC know about that?
Hmm?
Does FWC know about that?
I'm not
Because
sure.
there's state funding and if we have a panther in our reservoir.
Okay, well, she's in there.
Yeah, there's always been panthers, they always
Yeah.
went over by pump station 5, by Rock Pit, there's one that's been out there, and there's eagles out there, there's a lot of stuff out there.
So, again, the maintenance on Canal 13, which is the one that is all the way on the north side, on the wooden area, which that's another, we just got a lot of the owners, they've had their friends in our,
Right away.
yeah, so they've actually moved it. So we're gonna be able to get in there now to be able to start cutting down some of those trees to actually get in there and see what's really back there. So we've changed culverts on Fennel, on the northwest side. And then we've also changed on Camino Real and Horse Club.
For that,
Yeah.
does the landowner have to pay for that,
For what?
to straighten it out? Are you straightening out the cul-de-sac at the end?
No, this is the culvert.
Oh, it says cul-de-sac straighten out, removal of trees and swell, having new dust
Yes.
on the street line?
Yes,
So that's still the same thing, if they want it straightened out, they have to pay,
Yes,
how
sir.
much, what's the fee, 800?
yes, 800. Yes, sir. Yes. And we took out a massive tree that was between the swell and the property, the land owner.
Landowner's tree or our tree?
It was ours, because it went in, so when we went to make it straight, the roots still reached, that's how big the tree was.
So was it originally in or no?
No, it was on ours, it was on the cul-de-sac.
Okay.
So when you paid to get it straightened out, it was so big, the tree just myself on Hunting Club, on the south end side, also East Paso entrance. We've been working on, some roads, and we've been working on also Arboleda and Morse Club with the fish farm. There's, a whole case that's open with, the government side of it, and they're having issues with them. So we went through there, we actually changed out the culverts, that there was one that was like, there was a zero pump in front of it, so the drainage wasn't going through. And the other thing that we just found is that, and this is something that I need to ask the board also, we talked about the culverts. We talked about the owner is responsible for cleaning out the culverts. We didn't talk about the ones that have not cleaned out their culverts and they have overgrown grass on them. We're not allowed to touch them, but we talked about it, we never came to a full conclusion of if, give them 30 days, like the county does. You got 30 days to cut grass and clean out your culvert. And then if you don't, then we're gonna come and do it, but we're gonna charge you a fee. Because, again, we have a lot of them. If you come down, you'll see the grass cut, and then you'll see these. We got 3 feet of grass on the culverts, and you even have some little trees coming out on the side as well. So if it starts raining in this raining season, we're gonna, again, people are gonna complain, and they have every right to. But we never talk about if they fail to do their responsibility in maintaining their grass cut, then now it's not even lime rock, it's grass covered on the culvert.
Yeah, I know one issue that's always plagued this place is how far as maintaining culverts. And some people that put a new culvert have the culverts covered, because the ditch needs to be maintained. So then you have a lot of, sand deposit and stuff that's gonna get in there, and if it's up to the landowner to take care of it, it's not his fault, her fault, why that's happening. So I know that's something that kinda happens, and I've always been, whenever, when I was here, we used to always clear out a lot of culverts and stuff, even though we probably shouldn't, but, just take a shovel, we flush them out sometimes, we had a tank, we flushed it out. It's just easier to do it because getting into the whole fighting match with the landowner and so on, they own the culvert, they're responsible for the structure, but the sediment that gets in there usually is owned by Central County, it's because of the conveyance, and sometimes it's because if the ditch is too much slope, it erodes a lot of stuff, and then whenever you build up a road, a lot of your fines come off, and then it fills in the ditch. So they could clean all they want, but if the ditch itself is not being maintained, they're basically gonna tell you, hey, clean my ditch and we'll get rid of this problem, and that's gonna be a long process.
Well, I'm just talking in regards to, these are empty lots, a lot of them are empty lots.
Yeah.
That I'm talking about, where the grass, with the culvert, that the grass is overgrown.
Can you show me that document that the landowner is responsible for cleaning out the culvert?
That was one of the policies that,
We just drafted.
we drafted it with Primero, you guys signed off on it, the one that it gives them a permit, the final letter.
Is that the deal with Miguel Reyes' thing?
Yeah.
What brought that up?
He made it straightforward for everyone.
But that was your further meeting, that wasn't on the board.
I think it was the meeting,
I'll send you a copy of it.
right before.
And Primero's email to us is there, so, and I know you have problems with your email, so, but the letter was drafted and you guys voted on it. And it had, I wanna say there's 10, points that the, owner, cause it came back, we kept going back and forth, so who is responsible for the culvert? Is it the county or is the owner? Who's, because they're paying for the permit, and who's installing it? And the county doesn't install it, the owner installs it. And that was a back and forth, and, John drafted the letter with the, what their owner is responsible and what Central County is responsible for.
Yeah.
I'll send it to
So
you.
can we be more specific, because we have some residents that say, I'm going to the gray area, okay, since you, since, our ditches whole water was exposed to, and they discharged to the surety. But
it's not ready for an RV or anything, it's just bare land, you can't have a culvert, and that was a policy they drafted. We already have a lot of vacant lots that have culverts. So we adopted the policy that if we're starting this project on that road, if we notify them ahead of time and they don't fix it, we're gonna do what we have to do to fix it because there's already one there and keep going forward, so that they can't say, oh, you removed my culvert, now I have to get a whole new one. No, you don't, you have to pay back the county. And another fight that we were having was, what was the base rate, what was the rate for the whole thing? And it protects us in the long term for flooding, and that's what we're in charge of, we're a water control district. And on the other aspect of it for the residents is your culvert wasn't up to code, and in their coding, they have to maintain it regardless if our settlement goes in it, it's your culvert. So that's why we made that policy moving forward for years to come. Because if we had the resources and the money like Lehigh Acres does in their district, we could have simply said, we'll replace them all and keep moving forward, and then you have to pay back the district. But instead, they didn't do that. If that culvert didn't have a home or wasn't padded or ready for an RV or living, they ripped it out, threw it right there, and they kept going.
So I had a question to ask, back about it, so on Horse Club in North Arboleda, y'all replaced a culvert,
So we replaced two culverts.
two culverts, there were Central County culverts,
Yes,
and that's what you're gonna put for the, Ovid,
yes,
for the grant?
yes, because
Okay.
it's part of our drainage
Right.
issue.
So now, if they go down the road and let's say that there's an abandoned property, but it has a culvert, it might be wrong, and then there's one that actually has a resident, what happens to the one that nobody lives on, or what happens to the one that somebody does live on?
So if someone lives on it and they're notified and they refuse to do it, it's gonna get fixed.
No, the Central County now, I guess, we're gonna replace them.
We're going to bring them up to our code and charge that back on them.
No,
No, that's one of the things I was asking on how this is gonna work, because, you know, now it's kinda like if we run into an issue with a bad culvert, Central County's gonna replace it at our cost, and then it's gonna go into the grant.
mhm.
But now, how do you pick or choose who you're
So,
gonna do, who
the
you're not gonna do?
abandoned ones, and the ones that there's nobody on there, that they're old, the board at that time had agreed to remove them. And then when the landowner came, they can come to the office, and then we would address it then. And that was when Benny was here. That's when it first came up.
I'm talking about, but I'm talking about with the new Ovid, so now with the new
Or
Ovid.
so you're saying like if they just refuse to do it?
No, no,
No,
no,
no, no, no, no, no, no.
So right now, under the Ovid grant,
Yes.
whatever gets changed out, we get reimbursed.
Yes.
So this is what I'm trying to say, is that these abandoned properties, if there happens, say if Arboleda had 5 abandoned properties and all the culverts, would you replace them or you're not?
Well, if it has a permit, and even if it's old, and it has a permit, we will replace it. If it didn't have one, and it's not, if I don't have any records of it, then we cannot replace it. Because even if it is pre-existing and it's outdated, it's still gonna have to be brought up to date. It's still gonna have to be brought up to date.
So what you're saying is basically if they didn't do it the legal way or the right way, they just put their culvert and kept going, they're not getting it redone. Wasn't that how the policy was drafted?
Yes.
Well, things, there's old homes, like my house is from 1978, I think. You'd never have a record of that. So if y'all went to go do ditch improvements through there, then basically you wouldn't be able to replace the culverts because you don't have, because Central County is responsible for having it, even though that was a long time ago. It started like, it doesn't look good.
And again, that was
That
brought up,
wasn't being fair either.
but that was brought up as well, and they said it would be case per case. And that's because you're still living there. Okay, so again, the board agreed that it would be brought up case by case. If it was just simple lots that were empty and nobody's there and they're old and you have the 12-inch hole ones and they're 20 feet, we're gonna just clean it out and we're gonna clean out the swamp. You understand?
If it's 18 by 20, what used to be the old standard prior, and nobody lives there.
Well, again, all the permits that I've seen from 2005, they stay 18 by 30s. So if they placed anything by 20, that was management back then. So that, it was still out of code. Because we didn't change anything, that permit, and I can show you like the oldest one that I did find, it still said 18 by 30. I don't know where some people had 15 by 20s and 14 by
Yeah.
20s.
Cause I know where it usually was 18 by 20, and then I don't know if the county upgraded thing has to have 30s now.
That form, that old document, it says 18 by 30.
Yeah, 30.
Mhm.
Because Central County's following what Henry County does.
And again, all I can tell you is what I found here in our offices from day one that I've been here.
Let,
The oldest one always stated 18 by 30.
let her finish her,
Yeah.
let us.
So, okay, sorry, fire training, we did a fire training, with, CDUS, and every road that we go and that we're working on, we're using the boom mower, we've done Vito from Wall Cypress to Horse Club and back, Camino Real, Andindero and Olivo, and inside the levee. We started on one end of Ventura, on the north end, on the south end, and we've been mowing grass, we've done 38 permits in total, 26 new, 12 pre-existing. Keep picking up, we picked up 3 dump trucks load of trash off of Perimeter and Sendero. And we looked through the trash to see if we could find any form of documentation. All we found was a receipt from a bank with a routing number, that's it. So whoever dumped knew who they were doing. The pool, I'm still waiting for an inspection from, Department of Health, and right now we're getting ready for our big Easter event, which is Saturday. We have everything in place, we put up a tent, the bounce houses, they cleaned them today, and, we set that all up today, the grill, and all that, getting ready for Saturday.
Let me, now that you're done, let me ask this question. Our, hunting cameras that we have,
Mm-hmm.
are we placing them on our hot spots of people dumping trash as requested?
Well, that's, the middle and perimeter is the first time anybody comes through there. That's,
So we don't have areas where they repeatedly dump out?
Well, down here at the end of Hunting Club, they've done it for a long time.
yeah, they did it for a long time, lately they
You also
have,
utilizing the cameras, you haven't used them in a while.
we haven't used them in a minute. Because they're satellite too.
Also, they send you,
They're supposed to send the updated pictures, but there was a problem with the AT&T chip that goes inside. And so we had to go through the hunting gear itself. And then after that, the company itself, haven't been able to upload anything or see anything, so. But it's been such a long time. I mean, it was just one. The other 2 I still have there, it's in a box. They're in boxes.
3 cameras.
We have 3 cameras as well. And there was only one, and the one is back here. I haven't placed it anywhere. So, there's 3 in total, and we do have the 3.
Cracking the pool, when's the contractor gonna come in?
I spoke to him last week, actually the week before, he was sending one of his guys. Now, the day, he was supposed to come out, he never showed up. He was out of town till the 25th, which is Monday. I texted him, he said he was gonna try to make it out, Friday.
Can we have our legal team send him a firm letter notifying him of his agreement that was made to us?
And I'll give you the information.
Regardless if he's out, his team or someone needs to fulfill that agreement.
I'll get you emailed to me.
I will, because I know him by Alejandro Castro.
Okay. Thank you. We're gonna move forward with our, if there's no further questions, we're gonna move forward with our treasurer's report. John Boy?
Alright, so, for the month of February 2024, we dispersed $211,000. We've got $1,356,000 left to collect on the tax assessment. Current year taxes, for February is $363,000. About $472,000 ahead of the prior year due to our tax increase. Going through that kind of quick. Then page 3 is the first half of our balance sheet. Shows that we've got a lot of cash right now because of tax revenue all came in. Page 4, most important thing is probably the last number in the left column, the fund balance of $1 million. It's not assigned to reserves and so forth. It's the one that's trying to build back up somewhat with this budget. Then the next page, these are the two that we do each month. The first page is the revenue, and it's not as critical to review because right now we've got all our tax money in there. There's a lot of revenue. I'm not trying to walk through this too fast, but the main sheet that's always the most important is page 6. So that's the one that shows all of our expenditures. If you want to look at page 6 and take it out and turn it sideways, I'll just tell you some of the more important things there. The middle 2 columns is the actual for the 5 months ending February 29th, and then the budget next to it. So if you go down to not the last line, but the line before that last one, it's total expenditures. So that's where we're at as far as our total expenditures for the 5 months. And we've expended $1,328,000, and our budget's $1,390,000. So we're actually spent less than the budget by $62,000 so far in 5 months. So we're about 4% under budget. So that's a good thing. If you look to the right, the second one to the right, that's our total budget right there. We're budgeting excess of revenues over expenditure of $499,000. And that was with the tax increase and trying to build that. So basically, the final column there is how much we've got left in different categories of our budget. So even though we're under budget, we've got a profit budgeted in there. The one area that is concerning is that about 6 line down is our road maintenance and rebuilding. We allocated $390,000 between those 2 items. We've only got about $100,000 left for the rest of the year in that category. Road maintenance and rebuilding. So that's a concern. I'm going to go over that. Most of the other things have not gone over budget. So we do have a positive overall budget. Protect some of these excess expenditures and hopefully have some of our fund balance going forward.
So John, looking at the breakdown, of our budget report, so where's the clubhouse
it's capital outlay. Right before the debt service problem.
Yes, sir.
Capital outlay clubhouse without repair. So I was right, too hard to read. It's 80,000 in budget for the year.
So,
Outlay.
so it's 80K for the clubhouse. And the employee salaries and all that does not come out of that 80,000, correct?
No.
So we have 80,000 a year to do in the clubhouse. Okay.
We also have some clubhouse maintenance, 20,000 up there too, so really we have about 100,000 clubhouse. There's 80,000 of it towards capital items.
I'm gonna ask you, is there a way that we could get this stuff line itemed out, like what's for, like set a budget for pool, for park, and, you know, I know it's gonna be a little bit more, but just throwing everything into one bundle, it's kinda hard to keep track of where a lot of it's going.
And we have the budget meetings coming up in May and June, we'll just have to do more breakdown.
Yeah, it'll make more sense, because when you just see capital outlay clubhouse and everything's jumbled up in there, everything's just coming out of one, and it's like, part of budgeting is knowing how much goes into your pool. I mean, we could kinda keep some track of that with certain receipts and stuff, but if we set limits on stuff, it'll kinda help us to, not go.
If you go to page 9, that's actually the breakdown for the clubhouse. What they,
There are some further breakdown.
those, that's recreation.
Page 7, we have like basic.
It could be tweaked.
Right, because I know we have our general, we have our
And then you
recreational.
have road and water stuff.
Yeah, because you see how here you have your rock budget, you have your field, like you have different budgets. And for a clubhouse, it's just really, doesn't have much to it, but if we'll be able to do that, then we'll be able to look and say, okay, well, so much went into the pool, we budgeted out at 50,000. And, it's just better than the money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a matter of how much time we put into this, so it's a group when we do the budget.
I mean, I don't know how the rest of the board members feel about it, but to me, I just think it makes so much more sense to look at stuff broken down into where it needs to be in this line item. You know, supplies for the clubhouse, how much are we buying, and we had a manager that will spend a lot of money on toilet paper, and then going to jail.
Toilet paper?
Yeah. Louis Napas brought it up because it was an outrageous number, like 20 grand, 15 grand. They're like, who uses that much toilet paper a year? That brought up a lot of problems. So,
There's a lot of detail as far as expenditures. I mean, there's a whole detailed ledger with every single check. But to put it all in the budget, that's a much bigger undertaking.
I understand, but it's like saying, you know, it's just to keep better track of the money, because if this was a business and we own this, I mean, I'd hate to look at since, you got $80,000 in the clubhouse, but where does it go? I mean, I could go to the receipts of what's spent and so on, but once it's broken down, you know, like I said, like toilet paper, if we seen, you know, for supplies, 20,000, we're like, what? You know, and I think that's something moving forward, that, you know, that's one of the biggest issues is the way that this is kind of laid out. And we need to really bring this up to date a lot.
Got the meetings coming up. Go into more detail on it.
Thank you.
Let's start in May.
Yeah. Does that conclude your report? Okay, we're going to go to our interim attorney at this point, Steve.
Yeah, thank you, good evening. So I've got 8 items on here, a lot of these will be repetitive, so I might just for example, we spoke last time about the grant, about getting that thing fleshed out. My opinion is now that we have Steve Dobbs, there's a small opportunity to have him figure out about permitting it and creating a site plan for the purposes of moving it up in the hierarchy. That's what that says, higher priority. So
federal opinion, really goes to Bear, to the consultant who's working on the ERP. I'm gonna guess that we can brief an individual if you're interested in it, but I don't know that it is rises to the level of a public interest item. But I'll have it in there, I'll talk to them about why. Special district legislation, the only thing I'm adding here is a reminder, this is gonna float in my list because I'm waiting on somebody to do it, and then I'm just gonna see how to do it. Performance metrics is what we're talking about. Engineer job description, I think we resolved. Public records request log, it's something that Mr. Suffolk brought up prior, or just the notion of how to track them, right? So we have a template for a log, Excel type of thing, maybe it's helpful. The corrective action memo, I'm gonna take that off. That was from we
Yeah,
had
that
a
was-
full
yeah.
discussion, so apologies. But now what I will do, if people indulge me, because a lot came up during this meeting. So what's gonna populate this list for next time is on East County Rec, right? So we're gonna pull up their budget, which I'm probably record, like I'll find out what their budget is and see what this issue is about, where the money is going. Maybe there's an easy answer in their budget. And on mailboxes, it's a bunch of things. County budgeting, I'll look at their budget to see if they have a line item that says mailboxes or postal structure rehabilitation. I'll pull a permit history, I think that's doable, just to see if, God willing, the county has the permit, to see who put in for the permit. It might be very informative. If we did it, it's probably bad, we should not have. But on the heels of that, we talked about a draft AG opinion request. It ends up being that we've never actually formally requested an opinion from the AG, because we rely on others. We'll do one, and what I was telling the board before you arrived, is that I'll try to associate it somehow with roadways, since roadways are in our big three. It's this idea that, oh, it's okay because the mailboxes are connected to our roadway system, can we overlap? And the issue will be, yeah, maybe the AG says you can do it, but he'll say you can spend money on it. Meaning, doesn't solve the long-term issue of who really should be maintaining it, but for purposes of doing a repair, which is something I was saying. So I'll draft an AG opinion circulated, as to the district manager add. It sounds like you want to at least see the finalists from the last one. I mean, I'll send them, if there was an issue about whether or not you had a good handle on who the finalists were. Maybe an easy way to do that is I'll just ask John to give me access, I'll print those out pretty, and then I'll make those available. But I think you'll agree that they weren't the best. And therefore, the next move is to reopen that's the other thing, we're gonna reopen the advertising, we're just gonna leave it open. This contract is a man letter, I'll figure it out someday. I'll just get the details.
That's
So
neither your,
I'll dump copy paste this into this, it's that way. I'll be attending that for sure next month. This was, Mr. Camaro was prepping for court. That's why he asked me to cover it today. Next time I'll formally be, he said, can you cover this one? Because he has some other magistrate thing, but it's my pleasure anyway.
thank you.
So you can keep me accountable to what these are next month.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Now we're gonna go over into our board of supervisors report. We're gonna start down here with, board member Chris.
All right, I only have a few things. One of the things that I was speaking with Rebecca about, like the ditch maintenance, I had a couple of, residents ask me about, what's our plan for flood prevention and so on and so on. Flood prevention is a very misleading word. You can't really prevent flooding, the thing you do is like minimize how long it is, if it's gonna be, for weeks, hours, days, and so on. So, one of the things that I would really like to see being done with ditch maintenance is we've been in dry season, and in 2017 was massive flood, and really no ditch maintenance has been done to change that. So we're pretty much gonna look at, there's more culverts in now than before, so there's gonna probably be a couple issues with that, and that's something that I think that would be good for the team and the manager to start working on, because if not, we're gonna have a big issue. The only other thing was about the vehicles, this that we had.
Yes,
You could-
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, cause I was gonna ask you about, because I seen that you
I
had it here, but.
appreciate that, yeah,
Okay.
I did go to, Okeechobee Chevy.
Yeah.
And, if you look at the two, one is, they both are, they have cabs, both vehicles. One is a utility one, which is the one that we need for the mechanic. And, the other one one is actually, it's a flatbed, and it has a hitch, and we can use it for for hauling the other trailer with the roller and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But we can actually use the flatbed to move anything else that we need to. And they were decent prices. And it was funny because when I speak to Mr. Rick Gold, with Mr. Matas,
I know. Yeah, I know from a long time ago.
so I started laughing, he was like, oh, it's good to see you. I was like, well, they directed me this way, so. They actually, it was really good prices. One is $61,000 for the utility mechanic truck,
Where did you go, where did you work at?
Chevy, in Okeechobee. Yeah,
We used to work in Bellevue.
Yeah. so, and then they had the flatbed, yeah. And it actually has also a fifth wheel, hitch.
Yeah,
On
for
it?
gooseneck.
Yeah, if we ever
Yeah,
decided to
obviously,
get
y'all
one.
have a gooseneck.
No, we don't, but it, you know, in the
Yeah.
future, whatever, it's still, it's already on there,
Yeah.
you know, so I looked at those and to me, that was a better deal, honestly, than what we had obtained. I mean, even the other two, one was way, but they had all the bells and whistles, they had a crane, they had everything installed. This one doesn't have anything installed, it does have the 8-foot, bed with the drawers and the stuff, but we would just have to move everything from ours over and just have it installed.
Or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a question for you.
No,
With regard to the vehicles, do you get quotes on other, dealers?
Yes, I did,
Okay.
I brought that to the board,
That was
and
me last month, okay.
yeah, but I went to, I got it from Chevy in Fort Myers, I went to Ford, I went to Dodge. And Dodge in Miami was the one that gave me a good deal, but it had all, like I said, all the bells and whistles. And then they asked me to revisit and go to Okeechobee because they're also, they had vehicles out there. The one in Chevy over here didn't have anything to where I could physically see what we were looking for. And then we did come over here and, the money that we have allocated for vehicles, which is $250,000. Actually, what I asked the board, because that was for, pickup trucks. So I asked the board to change it to actual vehicles for the mechanic vehicle and to get
I
this,
got it. Thank you.
to get another vehicle that would actually haul our trailer with the roller, instead of using a pickup truck. Because that's a lot of weight. So, these two vehicles, you know, one is actually for the mechanic and the other one actually will haul. And I looked at that with the other, three, and the best price that I've gotten so thus far was these two.
Do you check the dealer in Okeechobee from the Dodge?
No, not the Dodge one. I did go to the Chevy one though, so, and that's,
did you get a quote on a Dodge?
I did,
Might have been-
but that was the one, no.
Without the bed.
That was without the bed. That was just a chassis that they had quoted me. And,
Over there?
yeah, the only thing was that with Chevy, they gave me the prices, they were able to piggyback off the prices that they gave the Henry counties of what they did. Yeah,
Sheriff's Association.
yeah,
So I think, one more question.
yes, sir.
So I noticed on the emails to managers, are you using the manager's email for these things or?
Yes. Mhm.
Any reason why you wouldn't use yours? It's just a question.
They're together.
Okay.
Once the new manager, then because Emilio had stuff coming from South Florida Water Management,
Okay.
so in order, I just said, can you just merge it for now, and then if they get somebody, then we'll just change it back, that's not a problem.
They send a lot of training.
All they did was forward it.
Yeah, well, I'll just make it sure because, you know,
No, I
you
understand.
just gotta stay on top of stuff
Yeah.
and just make sure, because there's two emails, and I know that you have to access certain things that would be coming in, but I'll just, I have to ask.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Okay.
So all she did was forward the emails to me, they still go directly to that account, but it just forwards to me as a backup.
I'll just merge, okay,
Yeah.
like I said, okay.
Yeah,
merge
it's just a
emails.
backup. So then, and like I said, South Florida Water Management actually has a training coming up April 11th.
We can go to it.
Actually, today's the last day you can sign up. It's for flood prevention data and something, and it's gonna be here in our Tucson saying
Yeah.
about when we have these events, and it just popped up today, and it was stating it was the last day, and I've
Yeah.
never gotten an email before about the training.
Yeah, so that was one of the conversations I had with her, is that whenever it comes to water controls, districts, you need to know that that's why staff gauges are very important for you to get them put up, because you start pumping a bunch of groundwater, you're throwing away a lot of money, so that's why your staff gauges is very important to know what's surface water, what's runoff from rain or storm water, and what's your groundwater, because if you pump it, and like I was saying, maybe you pump the canals all the way down to the mud, you just spent a lot of money. What's gonna happen, your groundwater is gonna go to its lowest point, and then they say, we're gonna pump it back down. You're never gonna win that battle. So that's why we can save a lot of money by, putting the employees that runs the pumps, getting them to understand the difference between NABD and NGBD, because, there's a big difference, because I think
Yeah,
districts run in 88. It's what they run on their staff,
Yeah.
and then the 29.
So, yeah, so they were gonna, in this training, they're gonna go over all of that.
Yeah, it's very important, and they need to know that type of stuff. It makes a world of a difference, because just like I said, pumping, all the sediment ends up at the belly of your pump. It's a very expensive process at the end, and it shouldn't be done. So, yeah, but I'm done.
Okay, we're gonna move over to the next board member.
Last question, so in these vehicles here, you still have to outfit them, I guess, with welders,
Everything that we have right now,
acetylene,
all of
compressors,
this, yeah,
diesel gas tanks, whatever.
those are gas vehicles.
No, I'm talking about in the back of the truck, you have a gas
Yeah.
tank and diesel tank, generator, welder.
Yeah, what we have now,
Oxygen,
we're just gonna switch it on to the new one. So it wouldn't be out of,
Is this a out the door price, is this a payment plan, or does we have to come out?
that's out of pocket right now. That one, those prices.
There was one truck that had compression stuff on it.
That's the bells and whistles from Miami for 160.
Okay.
That's the one that, I gave in the last one.
Okay, yes.
None of these, yeah.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if we take all of that, cause it was like 66 extra,
You could buy a new
On that
welder,
one.
it'd be so much cheaper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
so,
So Rick, I got a
Yes, sir.
couple questions for you. So while you were out, Mr. Boyd was going over the budget report. He was saying that, looking at the budget, we have approximately about 100 left out of the dirt and field material. And we allocated like 390. I'm looking at a humongous mound back there, so my question is, how much is enough, and when are we going to apply that material? What is your plan to apply that material, and how much more do we have to get? So for instance, I know we have 390, don't get me wrong, are you utilizing the whole amount, or is there a certain amount that you're looking for, or a certain material that you need, that's it?
the only thing that I would consider in material, if we needed it, moving for the rest, would be the lima on certain roads.
How much material of milling do you think we have to do what we need to do, like, how much is there to
Well,
about?
that's not gonna cover all of everything we need.
That was my question, is how much material do we have out there to feel, is it 3 miles, 2 miles, 15 miles, 100 miles?
We'll say, we calculated it.
You can give it to me later.
Yeah. We had kind of gone over it. It was like 72 quarter miles.
Yeah.
But then, that was not including, we did it by the proper measurements, which is 1 feet. So, it shortened our distance. So, just so you know.
And also just making sure we pump the brakes here pretty soon, because we definitely don't want to exceed our budget items,
Sure.
Next question is the summer camp.
Yes, sir.
When do you foresee that happening and the hours of operation? And the reason I'm asking that for the board to know as well is, since inception, I believe that summer camp runs from a certain time, Monday to Friday. And then the community
out there to facilitate the community,
With no showers.
the outside shower, that's it.
Not like a hot
They
water
can't come in,
shower.
no, they're not gonna be able to come in, no.
So.
Now, again, we offer hot showers, but if you go to a regular community pool, it's just whatever's outside, so you can rinse, it's like if you went to the beach, I mean, you know, just, still, they can use a pool.
So, do you foresee that happening here?
We can make it work.
This year?
We can make it work. I don't see that to be a problem, I just don't wanna shorten the days, because the kids enjoy the Monday to Friday, and not all of them come, because some of them have summer school, and then they'll come in on like Thursday and Friday.
So how
But
long,
some of them have a couple of days, they don't go the whole week.
so how long is this?
It's from June tenth through July 19, I believe it is. And then after that, we have our big back to school bash where we give them, yeah,
The backpacks and all that.
Okay. And then, my next question, it could be Mr. Boyer himself. I think we have some equipment that is coming off the budget that we put these on, right?
yes, sir. The John Deere's and the Boom Mower,
And how much is that coming off the budget?
We spoke about it last week.
yeah, we did talk about that.
Or how much is coming off?
I think we knew how much was left. Payments, just have just those in the budget.
Gotcha.
Like 170
Yeah,
or so.
we talked about it in the last meeting.
Yeah, so I should be saying about another 80 coming back a year, okay? Just let me know, Peggy, when you see
Okay,
that.
yeah.
And then my next question is, you don't have to answer here, but I'd like to see how many open culvert permits we have. And then see what, you would get with me and see how does that work? When they expire or they don't, complete it in time of money.
Okay, so what was done in the past is that the permit is 60 days. And it's on the permit. Never changed it, it's always been here. What we've done is, and I will tell them, if you run into a situation or problem, please call us within those 60 days. If we have to, we'll extend the permit. If you don't call us, then that's it, you know. Once that permit is, after the 60 days, if there's a few of them, we would give it to the guys, they would go see if they even installed the culvert back in the days. Now it's a little different because now they have to show us the culvert, and we're signing off on the culvert before they actually close it off. So back in the day, we would take all of the ones that were expired and visit every lot that is on those permits to see if anything was done. And if it was, then, you know, they would pass it, if they did it correctly. With this new process, it's not like that. They can't even get away with finishing it, because it's not gonna be valid. And they made the notes, we would make notes on it. We haven't had that issue, to be honest. Most of everybody that's come in has been the 60 days, and they've done it within the 60 days. So, I mean, and.
So we have no open permit, as we speak. Everything's been signed off. Every culvert permit that's been pulled has been certified and finished.
No, I mean, except for the new ones that are in now.
If you would send me that list.
Oh,
But I think you still have some open.
well, I mean, they're gonna stay open, but it's not, if it's over the 60 days, they're gonna have to repay their permit fee.
So, that's my question is, let's just say for
calling them and letting them know, listen, this is what's happening, you have to change this, you have still so many days, you have to make sure you get this done. We made our notes on the permit, okay, and we would call the client or the contractor. If there was a contractor involved, we call the contractor. Now, there was a situation with the state, with, there were a certain, what is it called, in the rehab for Florida,
Yeah.
where they were given to, certain mobile home, companies, they bid it. So they did not take into consideration that they had to bring the culverts up to date.
Only the situation with Oscar.
Yes,
Okay.
correct. And so, but then they had to figure it out, and then they got that funding, I guess, back from the state, you know, because they did not take that into consideration. Some of those permits were open for a while as well, yes, you're correct. But we were working with them, you know.
No, but I'm just saying, if you would just give me a list of all open permits that we have, that haven't been closed out past 60 days. Thank you.
That's all?
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, we're gonna move forward. Any Kim?
Oh, I got nothing.
Okay. Roberto? Okay. There is a couple things that I wanna go over, is the GPS tracking for the vehicles. I didn't see it on the agenda when we discussed on finding GPS trackers for the vehicle, or seeing what the pricing was for that.
We spoke about it.
Last meeting, the board said we wanted to see different ones, or different
Okay,
numbers.
well, I did not touch that
Okay.
this month.
The other thing
So
was,
I'll do that for the next coming meeting.
okay, the other thing was, I went back in a couple meetings and the board approved for us to put up either a TV with informational, stuff, regarding our events and stuff, and then we also agreed to putting our pictures, like our portrait pictures in there to inform everyone who's on the board.
Was that when, geez,
That's when Flacco was there,
okay, so.
where that big
That's
bulletin
why I
board,
don't remember.
yeah, that big
I'm
bulletin
sorry.
board that was there.
I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Yeah, where the big bulletin board was inside of the clubhouse was to put that information there. And then the other thing that was brought to my, attention as well, when new people come here into Montura, is our team informing them what is Montura, how does it govern, how does it work? Where does their taxes, the taxes of their area in which they live in, is any of that being illustrated to them if they go to the clubhouse and ask? Or is there any information, if they do ask, is being provided to them? Like booklets, pamphlets?
We don't have any booklets or pamphlets here in Missouri that has any of that information.
Okay,
That's, if they have any specific questions like that, they send them to us, to the office.
okay. Because I had, there was 16 residents that moved into Montura. They don't own property here, they do move here. And their first contact was the clubhouse staff, no one told them. They did ask all of the questions I just stated. And some of the things that they do want to know is in the future, and this is something why I went back to previous meetings, because it was addressed. Flacco said he was gonna get it done, he never did. Is making sure that we do have some kind of pamphlets, paper, informational items that explains to them, how does our district govern? Where does their taxes go if they are a landowner? If they're a resident, it breaks it down in all detail. Because I thought we're the only water control district or any special district that has a rec center. We're not. And at fire districts that have rec centers, when you enter, it has like a little pamphlet book that explains everything about the district, how the governing works in the district. A lot of people nowadays are not so inclined to our website. They're more inclined to apps or Facebook or Instagram, whatever it may be, to find this information. And that's what brings me back round circle. If we have that informational stuff at the clubhouse, when we instructed Flacco to do it, I don't think we would have 16 people questioning how does Montura work. And then with that also being said, a lot of the projects that Flacco was informed by the board to proceed and to complete and to work on, where are we at with that? if we postpone them, if we move them back. Because I know we approved a lot of like baseball project, we approved of, the small pool project, the barn, the building, and stuff like that. I understand there's a lot of stuff going on in the district, but I want to know where are we at with the projects? Are we even starting them? Where's our deadline? How do we foresee
I'm
them?
glad you stated that, because as I stated with the dog park, you guys approved a lot of things without funding. That's as simple as it is. And we are limited on what we can do. So, yes, the stuff at the clubhouse, now, I did reach out to Mr. Bennett and about the barn, not the barn, but the shed that we want to get for the clubhouse. He did send me information. We never pulled a permit for it because we weren't sure if we were gonna go with the steel building to actually store everything. And the other thing is that with the engineering plan now, whatever we get, that is movable to adapt to what we want to put. And I took that into consideration for now, because I was like, if you guys do agree, right, this process, and we can put something, like you guys say, everything that we're gonna do, it falls into place with our plan itself. It's smaller projects, and that's something that we can fund, you know, and the money's there, so we can do that. So like if we do get, a pole barn, you know, something that we can remove and place it somewhere else, great. That's, and then I can pull the permit and get that, but I need an engineer.
Is Bennett still on payroll for anything? Like, does he get paid for any help that he?
He does get paid, like, he still does the day's electric permits for us, and he only charges us for the permits.
Okay, and
And
then,
then we ended his contract with us, right?
Yeah, but it's just a service.
and then my final thing is, I know this was on, I think last meeting or the previous meeting, finding some other solution for our website, either Wix or some kind of, program. Or even Anthony from South Florida Water, Special Districts that does the custom app for agencies like ourselves.
Do you have his card?
Yes.
Okay, good. If you
Because
give me, I'll reach out to
the
him.
website, I went on the website Friday, literally nothing was on there, it just said Central County, and then you scroll down, your picture was gone, like, a lot of our pictures were gone. I went back Saturday, half of the stuff was back on, Monday, everything looked perfect, and then Tuesday, it did it all over again. And I think for that being our main source of communication, information, telling a lot of our residents and landowners, how does Montour work, how do we govern, where does their utility taxes go and stuff like that, who's in charge of Montour, who to speak to at the office. We need to have that always running at full capacity because we don't have a Facebook page, so that is our only line of communication at this time. And then my last one, I did speak to John about this because John likes to spearhead, the Facebook. If we can find someone, or train someone on government entity, social media, if there's a course or a class, which there is, the PIO, Public Information Officer, and finding the logistics of getting a Facebook page just strictly for us started, that's only for informational purposes only, any events that Central County is happening, and if there's something that the board agrees to be posted on there, it being posted, yeah, it's being posted. Because I found a lot of people in Montour want us to have a direct Facebook page that's just strictly for Montour, Central County Water Control District, nothing more, nothing less. And it will also allow us to have what we call public poll hearings, where we can say, have you heard of this? And it allows us to inform our community at a 2024 modern age. And it eliminates any of our office staff having to deal with it. It's just a simple email, hey, we need this to be added on there, and here's the logistics of what we want it to say. And I think that's what Anthony does with the app.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of piggyback off what you're saying about like the supervisors of their information. It'd be good if every supervisor here provided some type of contact besides just an email. Because a lot of people wants to contact other supervisors, and I tell them, well, you know, I can give you their email, but you know, they want their personal numbers.
Yeah,
Or some way to contact
Yeah,
them,
so-
and I think it's a better way to be able to reach
yeah.
out.
So if you go to other special districts and you go to their main, either their main office or their main, rec center, they have pictures of all of the government entity, figures. And then at the bottom of it, it's like a little, it has like a paper that
Yeah.
goes over all the logistics, and then a little pamphlet that has all the same information, and their business cards with phone numbers, the office phone number, and their emails. And then some board members put their personal phone numbers on there, so that even if they can't contact the office to speak to them, they contact us directly.
Yeah.
And a lot of the new residents coming in here, they have no idea what Central County is. They think everything has to go to Hendry County, or if it comes to the clubhouse, who's in charge, you know, who's the manager, who's the interim manager, are you a board member, and stuff like that. And that's something that I think should be up there, informational purposes, saying, hey, look, we're the board, if you wanna speak to anybody, feel free. Because I know in the office, I always put new business cards, and I know a lot of us do the same. And you'll see people, they'll take them and they'll pass them out, and that's how people get a hold of me. But I've had people recently, they said, we didn't even know, I see you all the time, and I talk to you, but I never put the face to it. And that's something that I think we should incorporate. That was approved, but I've never been fulfilled. And that's all I have at this time. And if there's no further questions, this, I'm sorry.
I got a question. You got something? Oh, okay. I do have a question on the pamphlet. The information that's gonna go on it.
What to 298 is what,
I'm saying,
yeah.
like, what's on our website? It has a 298.
It's basically what's on our
With
website.
a little,
Yes.
it's got a little,
So it has
the
what's
basic
on,
information.
yeah, so I'll try to bring the one from one of the fire districts. It explains what's their governing, like, statute, then it explains what's their governing board,
This
and
is
then,
the other one.
and then I will, and then it has like little pictures and stuff like that. But at this time, go ahead.
Sorry, real quick, the $50,000 for the reservoir, we didn't move that nowhere. So that'd be something that we need to think about, going towards roads or towards equipment. Because we have money that's kind of lingering around here, that we need to bring it into something. So for next week, we could see what we can put that.
That's it. At this time, I adjourn this meeting. Thank you all for being here.